60 to 70 pieces just by eyeballing.
You got your work cut out ahead of you.
Hey, Shorty.
Is this a license plate frame? What we got going on?
That's why you don't buy cars when you're drinking. Hey, you can fire this thing up yet?
Let's do it. Now, what about my 1,000 horsepower bill?
It's a 63 C10.
Hope this thing have more horsepower than that.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Got a leak. Man, it's pouring from there. I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. You know, it's pretty cool to look back from where I started to where I am now. Man, it's a total blessing. You know, years ago, working a little, never thought it would actually turn into a business, much less, you know, a thriving business. You know, sitting behind a desk, drawing a picture of the car, playing with your colored pencils, that's not building a car. At Extensive, we're a working shop. You bust your ass every day. You create with your hands. You know, I feel my job is I lead by an example. I don't ever ask anybody from the shop to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Today I came out to meet with my friend Stan. How you doing, man?
All right. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming out.
Stan's the owner of the original Lupe Tortilla, and he's a total car nut. He's got multiple airplane hangars full of cars. Right now he has a car he wants to put the Extensive touch on. This is it, huh?
That's it.
It's a super nice car already. This 1961 is one of my favorite Cadillac designs. Back in the 60s, this was space age. Electric door locks, power windows, power seats, cruise control, AC. This thing was top of the line.
That's it. It's a girl right there. It's a girl for my girl.
Stan wants this to be an anniversary surprise for his wife, Sheila.
She saw this thing at the auction. She lit up like a wine car because I'd had about 4 glasses of wine. She was excited, and I bought the car, so it's a wine car.
Sheila's not your typical housewife. She loves cars, and she races them on the weekend, too. Seems like a solid car.
As you get closer, it needs some love. Missing a chrome piece here, missing a bumper. Grill's a little edgy. Couple little things.
Few little issues here and there.
Few little issues. Look really pretty under the hot lights of the auction. Look really pretty with my wife sitting in the car, but when we got it home, we got it in the natural light. Not so pretty. So look closer, because I want you to know what you're getting into. The dash is all cracked, and this carpet looks like it came out of my dog's doghouse. It's vinyl. How would anybody put a vinyl on a car? The potential to be what this can be, you know?
So you just need a makeover.
It's a total makeover.
You know, those auctions can make any car look good. There's always more than meets the eye.
It's a little bit of a blank canvas for you. I'm not going to tie you down.
All right.
You know, just turn you loose and do your deal. I mean, I've seen what you do and do it. You know?
Oh, man. So, we're definitely going to build you a super nice car and have a...
Don't get me in trouble with her now.
No. We won't do that.
There's no secret that I'm a car nut, but I've never really done one myself. I want this one to stand out.
Take it to the next step.
I want to knock her off her feet.
So I need to get busy.
Yeah, she need to get started.
Classic cars, but he's never had a custom car built. I can't wait to give him a taste of the custom world. Are you driving?
Sure. Giddy up.
Straight back. Oh, thank you. Anytime a classic like this comes through the door, we're always thinking, what can we do to set this apart from any other build? There's been a ton of custom Cadillacs built, so what can I do to make this one stand out? Come on, Spot. Come on, Spot.
Hey.
Come on, man.
Never gonna end. What's this?
61. This is for Stan Holt. He's going to give this away to his wife, Sheila, for their anniversary. So we got to take it to the next level.
What's the plan?
Man, the plan is Since this is Stan's first custom, I want to mix it up a little bit with a little old and new, accentuating what makes this a legendary Cadillac while giving it enough custom style for his racer wife, 22-inch billet wheels. And I want to paint it in the reddest red they make, with a handmade red leather interior all the way into the trunk. These V8s are known for reliability, so we'll clean this thing up, get it back up to its former glory.
Question, does it run?
It does not run right now. The motor transmission is in the car, but as far as like running, driving, no.
With an auction bought car, you never know how long they've been sitting, much less the last time they ran.
Man, I can just look at this quick walk around, and I can tell you, we're missing probably 60 to 70 pieces just by eyeballing.
You got your work cut out ahead of you, buddy.
Good condition chrome for a 50-year-old Caddy can be hard to find. Not to mention, it ain't cheap.
But if y'all don't get it done, his wife's just gonna miss anniversary presents. There's no pressure.
Yeah, no
we
pressure.
will get it done, as long as you get the parts. I'm gonna start by getting my boys Heath and John start tearing this thing down from the inside out. Hey, remember when all these cars have bench seats, man?
Oh yeah, you always just reach over, grab your girl, slide her in close.
Gotta love them.
Oh,
There she is. These caddies were badass back in the day. They had the long fins and bench seats, chrome for days.
Nowadays, cars got clips, man. I'm glad these things got screws. Makes it a whole lot easier to take apart without damaging anything.
Almost. Oh, we about got this one tore apart. Let's get the carpet out of it.
Yes, sir.
Come on. This is a terrible way to go about this. Here's one piece.
What the hell is this?
What is that?
Looks like a rat's nest. Like, so besides the wiring being a rat's nest, we have a real rat's nest.
Is the rat still in there?
Not that I can tell.
This is Texas. We find all kind of critters in the car. Rats, scorpions. One time they even found a rattlesnake.
Man, I hate snakes. Well, get this sucker tore down.
There it is.
All right.
These caddy dashes are made out of 1 million parts. Not to mention the other 1 million parts underneath that you can't see. That should do it. Ta-da! Sweet. That's a good start.
I've been working with John and Heath in interiors for over a decade. They're always thinking of ways to go even bigger.
The plan is bright red on red.
Custom kick panels, door panels, dash, and trunk.
Same thing on every car.
Unless it's a truck.
Ooh, touche.
Well, these panels will actually fit inside. This up here is going to be a unique piece that we're going to make out of aluminum. And then we're going to bring that finned aluminum look all the way into the rear quarters. And we make everything from scratch, start over, give us a lot stronger panel. And so now we're going to go ahead and screw this metal piece on so we get a factory fit. Then we're going to go ahead and get John to come over here and start laying the fiberglass on so we can mold this.
We're about to take our grinder, trim out and shape the edges. All right, Heath. Ow. All right, looks like it's going to fit good. All right, so all of our insert jigs fit. We can pull them out, we can pull the panels out, and we can get ready to start body working everything in. Now we're going to take our body filler, we're going to go around and we're going to mold in all of our trim rings to make sure that everything flows in nice and smooth with the door panel. All right, we've got it all attached now. We're going to take body filler, fill in our edges, make our trim rings, and let her dry.
With classics I like in the trunk.
We have a false floor in here because it allows us to hold everything together without actually screwing into the metal of the vehicle. So next step, what we're going to do is we build this back panel. It's going to come meet the edge of the trunk. When it's all done and wrapped, you're going to see seams line up perfectly through here. We'll mark that latch, and we'll router out our opening. And then we're going to reinforce with fiberglass and reshape this whole top area to allow us to get more of a softer edge. All right, we're going to go ahead and set it in, make sure it looks like we want. Much better now, the way it rolls around.
Perfect. With this caddy stripped down, these guys will hand make almost every piece of the interior. It's heavy labor, but it's always worth it.
What's going on, guys?
Brett, what's up? Because Sheila's a race car driver, I really want this thing to pop. Got it.
I got it.
So I asked my boy Brett at A&A Auto Color to bring in the brightest reds he can find.
All right, I got a few colors for you. It's like a Viper red. It's about as bright as it's going to get. This one, it's got more of a magenta in it, so it's going to look more like a deeper red. And this is just a red. I'll just leave it at that.
Man, this one's way too dark. This one looks dark too compared to that, man. That's it. That's it, man. Redder than red. That's exactly what this car needs.
That's about as bright as it's going to get.
Man, that just screams, you know, I'm a badass race car driver in a custom Cadillac, right?
Yeah.
You should call that one Tim Red.
Look into that.
Why is he even over here? He's colorblind.
I was about to say.
My boy Brett always comes through. I'm going to hand this off to Harold. He can prep and paint. Then we can get to the heavy lifting, customizing every piece of the air ride. Good. All right, we got the 61 Caddy in the body shop. The guys are about to start stripping it down, totally disassembling the car for the color change, and the next step is a new color. My friend Walter's coming by today. He's a local DJ. You know, he's seen the 63 Chevy truck we call Hard Times at a car show. You know, he loved it. Weren't planning on selling it, but he just made us an offer we couldn't refuse. Now he wants us to make this show truck something he can get in and drive every day. Walter, what's up, man?
What's up, Bill?
Where you been?
What's up, Tim? Give me some of that. Give me some of that white skin, baby. What's up?
You just wake up or what?
Oh, man. It's
like
hard
noon.
for me to get up. Hard for me to get up. I sleep all day.
You ready to check this thing out, man?
Man, I'm ready to get this puppy going. You know, that's why I'm here today. Check out the truck to see what I need to do to get it on the road. Can't wait to get it out there and let the people see it. Hope this thing have more horsepower than that.
When we built this one for SEMA, it was just meant to be a show truck. We didn't even have time to get the twin turbos running. So now we have a ton of work to do to make it roadworthy. You know, the whole thing needs to be wired up. Even like on the inside, you know, as far as like shifter linkage, kick panels. The carpet's in there, but Walt, I'd like to put some nicer stuff.
Well, I want the good carpets, what I call, and I don't know the name of it, I just call them the nappy head carpet. So that's the top of the line. So if you got the nappy head carpet.
The brand name?
No. Go know what you're talking about.
We'll get spot on that. And there is no radio in here.
Oh, man, gotta have that radio. Tim, I got to have the radio.
You know you gotta have the stereo.
I want something that's like boom, boom, boom.
There you go. We can handle that. You know, Walter's an old friend. I love busting his chops, but we'll take care of him.
All right, well, check it out. This thing should make 1,000 horsepower, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it's 6.2 with twin turbos. We've never had it on a dyno, but we got you, Walter.
Well, check it out. I appreciate you guys, man, and y'all call me when it's ready. If I get to the dyno and it's under 1,000, I'm gonna just have to say, hey, Bill, Tim, y'all told me 1,000, not 999, 1,000 horsepower.
Man, a couple years ago when this truck first hit SEMA, man, it was just a huge hit for us. There was a crowd around it the whole weekend. It made people just take notice that, you know, the guys from Texas are doing it. And, you know, this truck's always going to be a show truck. But driving it on the street, that just shows everybody that you can have both. You go get groceries in this thing, turn around and go to the car, hopefully hanging out the window is so big. I want to turn this 63 Chevy C10 show truck into a show and go truck with a few new touches. Interior, stereo, because it's Houston, a new AC. And after sitting for a while, biggest job of all, getting the twin turbos running.
I can't wait to get this thing going. Let him enjoy it. You know, it's kind of sad to see it go. I mean, every one of these projects, you know, you put your heart and soul into, but it was time to move on to the next one.
And you can fire this thing up yet?
I'm about to.
Because it was a rush for SEMA, it never got to the point of running. Justin and Matt are engine experts. They originally installed the turbo system on this truck, and they can't wait to hear it run.
We're not getting sparked.
We've been so slammed at the shop, we hadn't had a chance to get this thing started. One of the worst things you can do is just let a high-performance motor sit. Parts can seize up, fuel lines can gum up.
You get no power in the jet.
They're pulsing.
Cool, man. Come holler at me when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
I'll be here when you start it.
All right, hold what you got, Matt. We're about to start cycling the fuel system. We're going to start looking for leaks. Everything looks good back here, Matt.
So there's no leaks then, huh?
Not yet.
Huh.
Whoa. You got a leak. Cycle it again, Matt. Man, it's pouring from there. I think we got more coming out than we do have going in.
Turn it off.
Right here around these injectors.
Yeah, let's break it down then.
Let's do it.
Anytime you start an engine for the first time, there's always a ton of stuff pops up. All that stuff is popping up when we're trying to get these twin turbos fired up on the 63 Chevy.
So if you look right here inside the fuel rail, you can see where it rubbed off the anodized coating. What was happening is if you shove it back in there, it was cocked to the side, making that metal rub on that inner fit and wasn't allowing our O-ring to seal off properly. Fuel rail, we're going to go ahead and have to replace the whole rail.
Oh, these ones are O-ring fit.
But this engine's sitting so long, we're going to go ahead and just replace both sides.
Ready to hear it or what?
Yeah, man. It's been 2 years now I've been ready to hear this thing. A little nervous.
Yeah.
Let's see if that did it.
I'm gonna go ahead and crank it over without ignition.
Do it one more time. Hold that.
What's going on?
I don't know. I seen the valve cover moving. Maybe we should pull them off and take a look. This valve cover shouldn't be moving at all. It looks like we got popcorn popping inside of this thing.
Oh yeah, I can see it. See that metal shavings on the rocker right here where it's been hitting the valve cover on the two outer ones.
Right here where they were hitting, a lot of times you'll get little metal shavings like this one here that just popped off. On these motors, they run real tight bearing clearances, and that right there will cost you a motor. That's a good catch before we fire this thing up. Seems like it's always a hit or miss on these aftermarket covers.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's hit on this one. We'll grab another set.
With the old damaged valve covers replaced with the new ones, we're ready to get
I'm feeling lucky this time.
Let's do it.
Come on, man.
Hell yeah.
That engine sounds so bad. Walter is going to go crazy. 1,000 horsepower? Man, we got this.
Got it.
2 years.
Cool, man. Let's just get this thing buttoned up. Just everything roadworthy.
Right ass. Ready? Go for it.
All right. Now that it's back from paint, of course, I want to lower this 61 Caddy to the floor. But first, Jamie and Elu got to get this old suspension out of the way. So come on, let's get this thing tore up. Get the springs out, shocks, factory suspension, cut everything out. Get it bottomed out so we can take a couple of measurements and everything. We'll go from there.
Okay, all right, I got it.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right, man.
These old caddies set on coils, which was top of the line in the 60s. But we'll tear it all out and replace it with top of the line custom air ride. So So basically, it'll be suspended on airbags. It's a more modern look and a way smoother ride.
Okay, so basically we're going to get rid of these older links and put our 2-link.
Got it, Jaime? Yeah, buddy.
Aside from the airbags, we fabricate the entire suspension from scratch.
Bolt that up on the back here. I'm going to start putting this one together.
We took these airbags up where the old springs are mounted.
Alright.
Let's see if it fits now.
We're going to find out in a minute. What I'm doing now is screwing it up to see if this drive shaft fits. Turn this way.
Yeah, we're bottomed out right here.
Alright. We'll give that light right there first.
And you're gonna have to notch that part out. Whenever you add new parts to a frame, it rarely fits perfectly until we make it fit. Issues are always a problem when you're installing air suspension, so it looks like right here we're going to have to cut this cross member out a little bit and go back in and re-brace it up.
Let's get it all bottomed out again.
There?
Almost.
I'm on it. Check that out.
Woo!
You wanna call out the mariachi band?
Hell yeah. You can't leave a hole in the frame. So we're fabricating a brace and welding it to make it strong as ever. And then we'll install the airbags.
Cadillac trim is hard to find. You can find some online. There's nothing like touching it, seeing it, and looking at it in person. When I thought about 61 Cadillac trim, first thought, Shorty's. Shorty. So Shorty's got a little bit of a reputation in Houston.
What's up, Squad?
I did that to you.
Scared the out of me.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
He's known by everybody in the lowrider scene. Everybody goes to Shorty.
What do you need?
Man, here's the deal. We tore down a 61 Cadillac convertible, took all the trim off, none of it's good. I mean, everything shiny ain't shiny. Man, if you got anything,
We might have something stashed around here somewhere.
show me what you got. I love places like Shorty's. It's like a treasure hunt. Man, dude, I need this for my living room.
This probably used to belong to Elvis Presley.
Ah!
$1,500, man, it's yours.
Man, 1,500. I was thinking more like 150. Shorty's got a well-earned rep as a tough negotiator.
Here, don't drop it.
Heavy. Man, that one looks good. What all we got? Let's check it out. Can I open it up?
Yes, sir.
That's a nice piece.
This is all original.
All original, re-chrome plated, repolished.
1961 Cadillac chrome trim pieces. Chrome in general. Any of the shiny? All right, so let's work on a number. I'll take all this stuff as long as the price is right.
Well, you at least $6,500 for this, man.
Golly. Man, there's just no way we could pay that much.
Give me a number.
Man, $3,000.
Oh, man, can't do $3,000.
It's got to be bottom dollar for me to go back to Phil with this. Let's say $5,000 and throw in the hood.
No, 55, man. 55 is the least.
Shorty's definitely beat me up on the price. Sure enough, got it down a little bit, but he stood his ground. He knows what the parts are worth, and they are worth that much. All right, I'll take it.
All right.
Thank you, Shorty.
Load this stuff up.
Let's do it. We got everything we need, and not only was it chrome and ready, it was new old stock, that had been re-chromed to show chrome. Can't get any better than that. Bill gonna be happy when I show back up with this stuff.
Sounds like you gonna get a steak dinner tonight.
Man. Man, you never know, huh?
Justin and Matt got those twin turbos up and running on the 63 C10. And man, I can't wait to get this thing tested out. But before we do that, Heath and John panels. Hey Heath, come here for a second.
What you got, brother?
Man, trying to get these press grills done. They got the press tied up over there right now. I don't want to wait around for an hour and a half. Got any suggestions?
Man, I got a special tool just for that, brother.
What you got?
It's called a 300-pound Heath press. The 300-pound Heath press is a very, very delicate machine. If you don't know how to use it, you can hurt yourself. Let me show you how we do this here. Take this sucker right here. Make sure you're lined up. Apply even pressure. And then you gotta kind of...
Oh, you do the Heath shuffle.
Yeah. Make sure your sides are flat all the way around. We got it. And now, see, we got a nice press grill.
We're gonna patent that.
Yeah.
Well, the Heath Press 300 worked out great. These kick panels have turned out kick-ass. A little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of thought process, it goes a long way and gives you a good finished product. I promised Walter 1,000 horsepower with this custom engine, so I asked him to meet me at the shop. We're gonna drive down together and test this thing out on the...
What's up? Is ready? Bill called me over at Extensive today, and what I find, my truck was done.
Man, I don't know if you're ready for this, man.
I'm ready for it, man. I've been waiting for this truck for a long time, so I'm ready.
Man, so many hours went into building this truck. It is really great to see it roadworthy.
Man, check it out. We put all the new windows in, track, everything, got all that buttoned up. You don't even need it.
Okay.
You know, when it goes up and down, fine, but you leave them up because you got all new
got an AC, you know, keep it from sweating. AC, you know I'll be needing that because a brother like to sweat a lot, baby, like Keith Sweat.
And check out the inside.
Damn. Oh, got a push button.
It's an old looking stereo, but it's all Bluetooth, so you just play everything off your phone. Check this out.
I gotta check out this sound. Bill told me this truck was gonna boom, boom, boom. It made me wanna dance, baby. I was just going back and It's a sick, man. I love this, man. This is nice, man.
Told you we got you.
Now, what about my 1,000 horsepower, baby?
See,
okay.
I got the dyno all set up.
Can we check it out?
See what's up. That's where we going.
Okay, let's go.
You drive.
Oh, I get to drive?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is going to be... All right, I'm the dyno.
You know, Walter's been on my ass to make sure this thing makes 1,000 horsepower.
Man, you still got to show me how this thing works now.
Man, hit the key right here.
Okay.
You know, this is about to be the test. You know, the dyno is going to prove one way or another if we did our job or not.
In the shop?
Yeah, just back right in. The dyno's right there. Okay. We're at the dyno shop with the 63 C10. A dyno is basically a treadmill for vehicles. You know, this LS twin turbo, hand built the way it is. If this thing doesn't make 1,000 horsepower, nothing will. We'll strap the truck in, make a run, we'll see how much horsepower it has.
Oh, I hear something coming on.
Here it comes.
Christina is coming alive. Dad, come on, let's get it, baby.
Oh, we good in there. Doing a little adjustment myself right now.
Okay.
Every time, you know, more fuel, more air, more spark. He is fine-tuning this just to get the most amount of power we can out of it. All right, man, here we go. Here's the test. Did we do our job? Didn't we? We're about to find out.
Let's go, baby.
Walt. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it.
What number you asked for, guys?
What we got?
1,080 to the tire.
Woo! Bill, you knocked it out of the park, baby. 1,080. Thank you. The whole crew. Love y'all. I told you. I told ya. I knew you could do it. You know, I always had confidence in you, man. I knew you could do it. 1,080. Beat it. There it is, baby, right there. On the paper. Certified.
Man, that thing looks good. We finished the install of the air suspension on the 61 Cadillac. Now I'll take a sneak peek on the wheels and tires because I can't wait to see them. Man, it clears good. Perfect. I love the big wheel. I love the nice thin spokes. Man, it complements this car perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really going to be impressive. The only thing that isn't impressive right now is drums.
You're right. Thank God.
Yeah, we don't have time to make anything, so please do your research. Let's get something coming in.
Big brakes.
Bigger the better.
What color calipers?
Make them calipers match your hat. As a custom builder, I'm not sure I'm ever satisfied. Right up until the last minute, I'm always looking to up our game. Even in places you never look, like the trunk.
I remember at one point of this process, we thought this was a good idea.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Heath and John, hand making this custom trim is a lot of work. But in the end, it's all worth it.
Here, make a decorative trim piece. You get a cool, modern and kind of classic look. This is just basically a two-part epoxy, and we add a black pigment to it. What it does is it's going to give us our nice, shiny surface and also hold all of our aluminum strips in place. All right, that's it.
Almost looks like we know what we're doing.
I'm laying out the V on this custom Caddy trunk. So when you open up that trunk, you're going to see that cool-ass V running right across the back. It's going to look awesome. And this is a freehand cut. Voila. We got our V right here. We chose to go with this design because it is a Cadillac staple, basically an old hot rod staple too. And it's just a V that represents V8 in most of these Cadillac vehicles. Barely made that corner. Now we'll set it in here, see how she looks. Oh yeah, look at that. See how the 3D just really makes this thing work.
Tim, we got a problem. Half that rag joint's missing off the steering.
Rag joints were used back in the day to connect the steering shaft to the gearbox. If this thing goes out and breaks while you're driving, you just lose all your steering. This should be a whole piece that goes all around, looks like a donut, and make one joint. But right now, had been making noise if they would have ever driven it. And once you keep turning, eventually it's just going to wear this out to where it's just going to not safe.
Got the new NOS rag joint.
This is what it looks like when it's good. This is what came out of the car. This would have went out when they were driving. It would have been big problems on the road. We need to get it fixed. It's like anything else. You wouldn't want your family in it. I wouldn't want mine. So let's make it right.
All right. Ready? Hell yeah.
She's running, but she does not sound good at all. A little bit more tuning, and we'll have her purring like a kitten.
Is this a license plate frame? What we got going on here?
Yeah, that's a license plate frame. I think we need to take that out of there.
That's why you don't buy cars when you're drinking. One of the things we're known for here at Extensive is fixing other people's shoddy work. To the tree of shame. That was cut for a purpose. Terrible purpose. With all those crappy pieces, we decided to start building the tree of shame. That started about 15 years ago, and at this point, it's actually casting a lot of shade.
Where we gonna put it at?
I'm not sure. If somebody would have just done their job right the first time, we wouldn't be standing here right now having this discussion, trying to make a decision, but...
Tree of shame.
Ready? It's in its forever home now.
Let's go get some tacos, man.
I like tacos.
The 61 Caddy is almost ready for show. Heath and John have really outdone themselves on this red-on-red interior.
That thing's looking good, man. Looking real good.
I like it. There's a lot of leather, a lot of pain in the ass, but it came out sweet. Got something serious I want to talk to you about, though. You know how this thing is bright red? You know, it's a Cadillac. The gentleman who owns it has Tex-Mex restaurants.
Heath, come on, man. I got stuff to do. What?
Think about calling it Caliente.
Caliente?
Right up top, right here. Do like some embossing and some
I was just about to tell you, we need a little filler here.
Yes, sir.
Caliente.
Caliente.
This caddy was missing a little something, and the Caliente really ties this build together. Once again, Heath comes through.
First, we cut out the original Cadillac font with the plasma. And now, I'll emboss it onto the leather. Take and kind of center it up. Line that up on there. Put it down in the vise. We just crank the hell out of it. Let's see if I didn't mess it up too bad. There it is.
All that's left are these final pieces of chrome. I can't wait to give this to Stan's wife, Sheila, away. Stan and I worked out the perfect surprise. He invited all their friends to his hangar, packed with his really rare, impressive collection of classic cars.
Cheers! Many more years.
Well, I got a little something up my sleeve. A little anniversary surprise.
Really?
Yeah, you're used to that, right?
What is it?
You don't need to know. Well, I'll let you know later.
What did you do?
Can't tell you.
Little thinker.
Sheila, in the past 3 months, we've been building you this 61 Cadillac.
I thought my car was here. You have my car?
We've had it for 3 months, and we've been busting our butt off.
Lost in the crowd.
Well, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You ready to check it out?
I am.
Let's check it out.
Oh my God. I got 22! Yeah! The same car that we got at the auction. It was silver, and now it's red, and these huge wheels. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Hey, these are the interior guys. This is John.
Oh my God. Thank you.
The interior is this totally one-off custom interior, from the door panels to the seats and the dash.
Beautiful.
Couldn't have done it without these guys and everybody at the shop. Hey, no matter what they look like, they get the job done.
We do all right.
I know when we got it, we just had parts in the trunk, parts here and there, didn't run. We got the thing running, sprayed it Viper red. Every piece of the chrome has been polished, redone. Look at the custom billet, 22-inch wheels.
I love those wheels. Oh my gosh. 22s. I love 22s.
Every bit of the suspension, there's nothing 61 in there anymore. It's all handmade, air suspension, drops completely low on the ground.
That's amazing. Was that your idea?
No, it was Bill's idea. That's what he does.
Heath, John, show her what you have for her. Check it out.
There's more? Wow. That is beautiful. Look. Beautiful.
These guys totally handmade every part and piece of this. Check out what they came up with for the...
Gave it a name for you. Caliente.
Caliente. All right. Awesome.
When she opened up the trunk, I couldn't believe the look on her face. She was as surprised as crazy.
Had no idea.
It was nuts, man. It was awesome.
When you see somebody that really respects what you do, they see what you created with your own hands, that makes it all worth it. This is especially made for you.
These guys are amazing. I just turned them loose. Amazing what they did.
Ready to go for a
That's
ride?
awesome.
Let's go for a ride.
There you go, guys.
Thank you.
You diving too.
You know, this is a great gift. That's their first taste of custom, but hopefully not the last.
What motor this thing got in it?
Texas girl's got her shoes off already. That thing around to the corner. Everything that I wanted it to be, it was.
It really was. It was amazing.
Seeing her excited, I just get all...
So you
My
like
girl, I'm so excited.
That's out of whack. It's totally smashed in.
This core support piece, we got a big gap.
We'll see what this thing can do.
What's up, man? I need to be able to get this bike in the back of this truck.
There ain't no way you can do that safely. But we can make it happen by building you a custom air suspension trailer.
This is actually my first one to build, so no pressure.
That is awesome, bro.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
For the most part, we do client builds here at Extensive. But I've been looking for a nice project to build a Baja truck out of. Maybe even make a few. You got to start by buying it really, really low. My buddy Dave said he's got a truck for me that I have to come see. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Bill? Good to see you.
Dave deals in vehicles that he buys at auctions. Most are ready to drive off the lot. Some are just a little bit more than parts. When buying a vehicle like this, you have to do your due diligence. This it?
Yeah, that's it. It's hurt.
Does look a little hurt. Yeah, it got hit hard.
Hard.
You wasn't playing.
What happened with this truck?
They don't tell me what happened at the auction, but it just got wrecked. It's got low miles, though. Real low miles.
What's real low miles?
633.
Oh, man.
Good rear end, good motor, transmission.
Man, it looks good for parts.
Man, still got the new car smell.
Oh, yeah, she's new.
Just don't got new car look.
Man, this interior's so new, we don't even have to do anything to it.
You know, I was going to go ahead and salvage it, use the motor and transmission in one of my trucks.
Oh, no, man. We can put this thing back together.
You think so?
This 2017 F-150 rolled off the factory floor with a 5.0-liter Coyote V8 engine. It's the perfect starting platform for what I want to build. Man, you can see the bed still straight with the cab. There's nothing wrong with the back of the frame. It's just the front. Man, I'm seeing making this thing into a Baja truck.
A Baja truck?
We can jump it.
Jump it.
Yeah, man.
Man, this thing is missing a lot, Bill.
Well, that's where you come in, buddy.
Bill's not the kind of guy to scare easy. And seriously, I don't think there's anything he can't build. But this one needs a ton of parts and fixes. And on our dollar, that's what really scares me. Man, I didn't know we were picking it up to build. I thought this was parts.
Yeah, that's what I admire a lot about Bill. He always sees things that other people don't. It is brand new, Bill, but it's in pretty bad shape.
That means it's cheap for me, right?
Yeah, we can run a special. We always do.
Man, we're going to get it running. And you can come check it out, man. You can be there when it happens.
I'd like to be there. Let me know.
I trust you, but do you really want to take this pile home?
Come on, man, of course. Most of the time you should just strip a truck like this for parts, but I've been doing this a long time. You see the right truck? It's endless possibilities. We're gonna turn a pile of bent up crap into something that's gonna be really cool, man. I've been wanting to build a Baja pre-runner style truck for a while. Street legal truck, you can race and jump. This truck is a perfect thing. We gotta launch it.
By launch?
So,
how high are you talking?
man, at least this high. Yup. You know, Baja truck is just made to take any terrain it can possibly go through. Sand, mud, gravel. That's what a truck like this is built for. Just the aggressive stance. You look at it, it just looks pissed off. It's in bad shape. I mean, you see, that's immediately what you see. To me, half of it's here. That's a head start. What better way to get a truck like this, very little money, and turn it into something really cool and able to jump up into the air.
Well, Timmy, here she is.
What are we doing with this? Taking the motor out, trans out, wheels, tires off. Couple doors look good.
Come on, man. We're gonna build a Baja truck.
Out of this.
Out of this. The truck is brand new. And on this, we're gonna have a little bit higher ground clearance in the front than the rear to go off-road, to jump things, and still be able to drive it on the street every day. Big, wide fenders to go along with those suspensions, so the control arms and everything have to be really long to be able to jump. Wide bed sides in the back just for that aggressive look. Bed cage in the back. Big, huge shocks. We're going to give this thing a second life and even better than it ever rolled off the assembly line. Spares in the back. We want the whole Baja look. I'm going to drive it around. Who knows? Somebody might need it in their life.
So you're going to drive like Bill, and we're going to drive it to the max. Anything we fix after that is roadworthy 100% because you drive,
hell yeah,
200% worse than anybody I know. Or nothing breaks, we'll just keep it as a shop truck.
Take it to lunch every day.
Lunch, Bill's credit card for gas.
No?
I'll sell it then.
He thinks he's going to sell it when he finishes it? I'll believe it when I see it.
Looking at this truck, you can tell it got hit really hard in the front passenger side, and it's obvious we're going to replace body panels. But man, we need to tear this thing down and see what kind of frame damage there is. The back's good. I don't have any concern at all with this. Let's get the front of this thing all tore apart.
Front end looks a little bit jacked up. You wouldn't even call it a front end.
It's like somebody had already started repairing it. I seen it all wrapped up. Now I see it got hit way harder than I thought it did. Man, the whole throttle body's missing.
Probably gonna need a new one anyways. Get some power.
Well, let's get it tore apart, man. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we need. Dang. You see the little charcoal canister is totally busted. The deep gouge in the cross member. Gouge in the transmission pan. The front of the frame is totally out of whack. You can tell somebody's already tried to repair it. I'm nervous about how the uncompleted repair job is done. Hopefully from the point they repaired back is all good. But we won't know anything until we run the string line and go from there. We're going old school to measure the straightness of the frame. You know, plumb bob's just a tool of just knowing if you have a straight line or not. Sometimes you don't have a point you can just run a tape measure right off of. So if you drop a plumb bob, which is just a weighted string, that gives you a perfectly level string to measure off of. So you can measure from each side of the frame to the plumb bob to know if you're perfectly center on that. If it lines up with your horizontal string, you know you're
off by an eighth.
At the same time, we'll level this thing. So the level will tell us if it's out of whack this way, and the string line will tell us if everything's completely straight that way.
It go up a little bit on the passenger side. Pretty good. Check out that front truck. Aha, it's out of whack.
Make it level. Let me see how far off it is. The the front end is definitely tweaked a little bit. It's a little off center. We want this thing to drive perfectly straight down the road. We want everything 100% in line, no alignment issues. We don't want it pulling off to one side or another. We're going to be abusing this thing. Well, I am. We're going to put it to the test, so I want to make sure everything's going to hold up to what we're going to throw at it. First thing we need to do on the F-150 is repair the frame. It's not just the damage from the accident, but the bad repair job. Elu's going to cut that out. We're going to start all over. Down. Alright, perfect. Elu's got all this cut loose. It lines up perfect with our string line. Plumb bob is 100%. It's perfectly level. Last step is just weld this thing up. Man, Lulu, that looks real good, man. Can't even tell anything ever even happened to it. It's just not the frame needs to be fixed, but the whole passenger side core support was damaged in the accident, so Rudy's going to pull off the bad piece and install a new one.
This F-150 has been in a real bad accident. So what we found was this core support piece, it should be nice and straight here and then curve out. But as you can tell, if we put a straight edge here on the straight part, we got a big gap here. So a little gap here is going to create an even bigger gap here on the end. So we're going to go ahead and pull this piece out, bring in a new piece. It's nice and straight. And that way, when our fenders go on, they should bolt up nice and perfect. So the core support is the structural frame of the front end. Our headlights, radiator, grille, bumper, all that bolts up. It needs to be nice and straight for everything to fit perfect. We got our new core support fender piece in. As you can see, this one's nice and straight, so we'll go ahead and bolt it all up. After that, we'll be good to go. As much as anything else, I think we're in the problem-solving business. And today, Chad and Melinda, they got a good one for us. They own a local bar and restaurant, and they build their own custom bikes, and they paint everything orange. I mean, everything. What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good, man.
Known Bill for about 15 years. One of the first trucks that I ever worked on. Bill did the air ride suspension on it for me.
What you got here? This new one you built?
Yeah, we got it done not too long ago. It's a 08 Road King that we built. Put the 30-inch front wheel on it. Fully bagged it out. Of course, our orange color on it.
Man, it looks good.
Thank you. But we're having a little issue. I need to be able to get this bike in the back of this truck. So I need to come up with some type of ramp system, some kind of mechanism that'll fold out, something.
Man, come on. You can't be... There ain't no way you could do that safely.
Got to figure out a way to get it hauled.
Some air suspension trailer that it can drop completely flat on the ground. You can ride this bike right up on it, strap it down, easy and safe.
A custom trailer. That sounds expensive.
What's expensive is dropping this off of a ramp coming out of the back of this truck or hurting yourself.
Bill's vision is just different than anybody else's. When it comes to metal work, he's a true artist. My thing is, of course, is go with the orange theme. Everything's got to match.
Hell yeah. We can powder coat it orange, no problem. Put some black wheels on it. Make everything flow and match and look totally custom.
You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool, man. Let's go right up. Let's get you going, man. You can't be having no ramp. Come on.
All right, let's do it.
In 2000, I had an idea for an air suspension motorcycle trailer that is set completely flat on the ground. Had a bike, didn't have a truck at the time, so problem solved, air suspension trailer. A lot of people just see a steel rack, but when you have a steel rack, it's endless possibilities of what you can build. Anybody that's ever put a motorcycle in the back of a truck, they know how sketchy it is and how dangerous and how much it's going to cost. And this just solves all the problems. Just makes it super easy. Ride the bike right up on it, strap it down, air it up, and you're on your way.
best fabricators and a biker himself, so he's going to help me build this trailer.
Thanks, man.
Each and every one of these trailers start out on the same template, but we customize each one depending on the style and size of the bike. And you know this one, it's got to be orange.
So there's a lot of tube on this trailer. It's probably about maybe close to 60 foot. It needs to be pretty strong to hold up his bike. It's a pretty heavy bike. So everything needs to be cut exactly. There's a lot of angles on this trailer. If I get one of them wrong, it could look crooked. It could not be the same on each side. I need to ditto each side and make everything perfect to the jig. So it's real important all my cuts fit nicely. This is actually my first one to build, so no pressure.
Me and Jamie worked late into the night to make this custom trailer for Chad and Melinda. The frame is mostly welded up. Now it's time for the airbags. Jamie cut one of two suspension links, so we're going to put this bar through it, and then it's going to pivot on the bolt. This is actually going to be the suspension to the trailer. So you see there's no traditional trailer axle going all the way through it. The spindle of the wheel is going to be right here mounted. We're going to trim it all down so the fender will weld right to it, but that's it. When this thing's all done, it's going to be years and years of trouble-free towing.
There you go, man.
Hell yeah. Tack it. All right, cool. Hell yeah. This is the same basic system we use on our cars and our trucks. And you can see when you put air in this, as soon as you hit a switch, the valve opens, air goes right into the bag, lifts the arm up, trailer raises. So that's basically the whole suspension in this thing. Now to fit the big wheels. Yeah, get that up there, a few quick measurements, and start wrapping it up. You know, we don't have a fixture for this, so every one of these are custom to the wheel, the tire, everything varies on this. So we build everything one off. You see the links we go to make sure everything looks 100% straight. Jump up, measure that real quick. Nobody's going to notice if it's 100% perfect, but they're damn sure going to notice if it's crooked.
Man, that's perfect.
That's what I'm talking about. Now that the frame is straight, we're going to install a long travel suspension on this F-150, which is specially designed for the pre-runners.
Knowing Bill, I know he's going to drive this out of this thing. So these control arms need to be long, strong, and sturdy, which they are. It's going to be perfect for giving us that suspension travel to make sure we don't roll this thing over. It's the last thing this truck wants to do. We're installing the coilovers and shock. A coilover is a shock and spring compacted into one unit. This allows adjustment for no purpose. Of course, Bill's gonna go with the biggest shock he can. He needs the biggest shock to have the softest landing.
Push it down at the same time.
The shocks keep the truck from bouncing, so it sticks to the road better, no matter how bumpy the road gets. We got our whole setup here installed. Our spindle, the lower control arm, upper control arm, our coilovers, and our shocks. Our wheel is gonna stick out pretty far out from the body due to our longer control arms. Give us a little bit more travel on our suspension. As much travel as we can get, the better for us.
Now, Elu and Rudy are installing the brakes. This thing is going to take a beating. It's very important to have super strong stainless steel brake lines.
We don't want the line getting kinked up or ripped up, because if the brake line breaks loose and gets cut, this thing ain't stopping. We really need this brake line to work.
Elu is installing the limiting strap. The limiting strap keeps the suspension all nice and tight, so when you leave the ground, it just won't overextend and get all in a bind.
Now that I have all the limited strap mounted and the brake line mounted,
Well, the next step is to mount these reservoirs that are just hanging out right now, but we're gonna fasten them down for whenever he's up in the air, they won't be all over the place. That's in. That's perfect.
The frame on this F-150 is good as new. To turn this thing into a pre-runner, we're gonna add some reinforcements. I mean, 4,000-pound truck landing nose first, you know, it's gonna take a beating. So we wanna build a brace goes from tower to tower. So when we jump this thing, the towers just don't fold in. They're so tall, and that's a ton of leverage coming down.
Sounds good.
We'll roll a piece an inch and a half, schedule 80, something real heavy, and then we'll bend it so it gives it a nice little contour, little style to it. All right, man. Let's get my little notepad out here. Got 9 and 7/8. And roll it, and we'll just lay it out on the table. I just want a little bit of.
More, you try that thing.
No, that's good. You know, just don't want it straight. Want a little style to it. So going off the little quick, simple sketch and the measurements I took off the truck and just transferring it over onto a piece of paper so it's actual size. Set my angle on the old computer here. As long as I transferred my measurements to my paper correct, it should fit perfect. First time. Should. This machine uses a hydraulic piston to force a precise bend into our pipes. I say that's it. Now we just gotta cut it. We got our marks. Next step, chop it up, put it on. Think it's gonna fit, Lulu?
Wow, we find out in a minute. We set it down.
Man, that'll work. You know, with this being bent so much, it makes it weak here. When you bend a pipe, it weakens it a little, so I'm gonna double it up and make this thing super strong. Let's bend one more. We'll kind of lean them apart and we'll have extra strength, man, for jumping.
Oh yeah, it'll be a lot stronger.
That's it, man. That looks good. Let's tack it. Man, that thing's gonna be super strong, Lulu. That's never gonna fold up on us. Right in the middle of this, man, to hold all this together, it'll be pretty tight. The engine brace for the F-150 is almost ready. Rudy's burning out a plate so we can tie this thing all together. It's gonna be super strong.
Go ahead and hand it off the bill. You can go ahead and weld it on the Baja truck.
Ooh. What's that look? Man, that looks good, Rudy. Tack this thing in. We're just gonna pull this thing off, take it over the table, weld it up. This is one of the things that nobody's ever gonna see, but I know it's there. Every part and piece of this is done right. And that's how we did it. All welded up, ready to go to the powder coater. Because we're turning this truck into a Baja style pre-runner, it has longer front suspension. It's gonna make the wheels stick out farther than the factory fender wells. So I'm having Charlie and Fernando modify the fenders and the bedsides to make this thing all fit.
Being that Bill wants to jump this thing, we need to make sure we've got a ton of clearance in here, so that way that when he does jump, there is clearance and the tires don't hit the inner wheel wells and he doesn't have a problem with that. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna drill out all the rivets that they have in here holding this out, and then we'll remove this outer shell, and then once we remove that, we'll trim it all off, and we'll use a piece of this to actually keep it extended out, and then we'll build our own wheel well and make it all uniform. This piece is already all mocked in of where we think we want it at, and so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the fiberglass bedside in and double check everything, check our measurements, make sure they're all good to go so we can continue on with the rest of the form of the fender weld. Looking in here, you can see how we made everything mount to the factory edge. So when you look at it all in one piece, it just, everything flows in like if it was made that way. You know, once we get it all mounted and attached to there, you ain't gonna know that we ever even did this. That's where we're going. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Charlie's laying out the fiberglass mat to mend this thing all together. It's going to be super strong and super light. Fernando is filling in all the little cracks and crevices with body filler, so it's going to be... And we just got this thing back from powder coat. Everything looks good as it always does. Chad is going to be ecstatic. It matches with everything in his collection. So just going to put everything in this tongue box. All the essentials to make this thing work is all right here. Cool. What we got so far, obviously the battery, air compressor, and 3 sets of valves. So we have a valve for the tongue, a valve for the left, a valve for the right. No matter what the load is, if it's an offset load, you can add a little more pressure to the left. Or if you got a little more weight on the right, you add a little more pressure to the right. Ready for that tank. Yeah. Cool, we got everything mounted in place. Only thing left to do is just wiring and run some lines. That's it. Every Sunday. They're going to be showing up here any minute to his new bar, so I figure what better place to give him his trailer.
That's freaking awesome. Man, damn, bro, that's freaking sick. I didn't even imagine this, bro. That's over the top.
So good.
That is insane.
So you gotta have the orange and black, I know.
Man, you know, I wouldn't accept it if it wasn't. So it's perfect.
It's full air suspension. Of course, you know, it has 3 bags. It has a bag on each wheel and a bag on the tongue. So you can leave this thing hooked up to any vehicle and drop this thing completely flat. So it's super stable. You know, you ride your bike right up on it, strap it down, air it up, you're good to go.
It doesn't get much better than that, bro.
Yeah, man.
When we talked about doing something like this, that's why we went to Bill. You know, I knew he'd come up with something that would work perfect for us, and just the fact that he can, you know, build something out of nothing is amazing.
Check it out. Let me show you how to work this thing.
Yeah, let's check this thing out.
Everything's inside here. All the switches. You see the tank, compressor, valving, everything is all in here. Hit the 2 switches, air the back up.
That's freaking awesome. That is awesome, bro. Man, that's insane. Oh, when Bill hit the switches, I mean, that was really cool.
Yeah.
For it to be 3 different bags, 3 different switches, you know, all fully adjustable, to be able to work behind any vehicle that we pull it behind is going to be really cool. Definitely feels safe putting my bike on it. And the last thing to see is how it fits on the trailer.
Yeah, hopefully it fits.
There you go.
Wow.
Man, that's insane.
Man, when Chad rode that bike up on the trailer, it's obvious it's 100% package complete now.
Perfect match.
Bro, that's insane.
That looks really good.
Man, this is way better than ramps, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
And cooler.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Definitely cooler. It definitely flows.
Put this thing up, man. See how it picks it up.
8 voyage.
Oh, wow.
That is
So glad you got that.
Ready to go.
Yeah, this looks really good. The bike, the trailer, the truck. You did a fantastic job.
It's awesome, bro.
I am so happy that we had Bill build this for us. It just looks amazing, and I'm super excited to get it out on the road.
Now with the front suspensions all installed on the Baja, it's time to get that rear end in.
But I'm just hanging off the back. Make sure the truck don't go forward. Good?
We got to remove the factory leaf springs, but everything's in the way.
The gas tank is coming off, and we're moving the exhaust just to get to that one bolt to get the springs out.
You're good. This is our factory leaf spring, and this is our new spring we got right now. You can see the difference. One's way thicker than the other one. Our new leaf springs packed with a whole lot more leaves for better absorption, whereas our factory one only has about 3. So this was pretty much made for potholes, and this was made for big ass jumps. And now we got the leaf springs on. We're gonna go ahead and throw the rear end on there and bolt it up. Whoop. All right, hold it. Get that side fastened down. We got the U-bolt plates. Hang on for a second, Rudy. When you're down on your luck, just hang in there.
Mission. All we need to do now is install the shocks, new wheels and tires, and it's ready for a test run. The rear leaf springs on the Baja F-150. I love how this thing's turning out with the big shocks, 16 inches of travel, attached to the new long travel leaf springs. I can't wait to get the big wide fenders on it and go test this thing out. Matter of fact, when put the wheels on it, you'll see what this thing can do. The stock tires just aren't going to cut it, so we're replacing it with 37-inch high-performance off-road tires. I really want to see how the suspension does, how it reacts when it hits bumps and dips, and there's all kind of little fine-tuning tricks that you can do to this type of suspension. But, don't know till you really put your foot to the floor and see what kind of reaction you get out of the truck itself, putting bigger tires on it. It's always a concern for not enough power. I call this the spot test. Spot size. That was fun. Man, overall, it was a good run. I mean, there's definitely some tuning on the shocks, but we got to get this thing up in the air, at least over spot. I mean, it shouldn't be very hard to do. We need a lot more power and a lot bigger jump. When I get back, I'm calling Justin and put me one bad turbo system on here, man. What's up, man?
So it's Carlton.
So I want to launch this thing, and it just don't have the power to do what we need to do.
Well, good thing you got this Coyote motor, man. These 5.0s are good platforms. We can do a single turbo, something that'll come in, hit hard, hit like nitrous, man. It'll be good for this pre-runner build. You can see about 20 horsepower per pound of boost.
It'll be enough for Bill.
No Bill, man, no telling.
What's the plan?
What we can do is we can use the factory flanges, and we can build from those flanges forward to our turbo.
All right, I guess we'll start taking that exhaust down.
Since we're going to tie into the factory manifolds, it's easier just to go ahead and use the factory OEM flanges and build from this point forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut these off, and we're going to try to save it where we can use these O2 bones so we can use the factory flanges. Matt, this one should be ready, man.
This will be a good start.
We'll start working on the hot side, which is everything on the turbine side of their turbocharger. Buddy Matt, he's going to start on the cold side, which is like the intake and the discharge off the compressor housing. The hot side of this turbo kit is what feeds the turbine wheel. That's where, I guess, the magic happens. The air comes in, and it pressures it up and pushes it out into the intake manifold.
motor is basically an air pump. It forces more air into the engine. You get more air.
This thing should spool really, really fast with the dual inlets feeding off of each bank of this 5-liter Coyote motor. So now we got the turbocharger bolted in. We're gonna go ahead and start connecting to our intercooler.
Matt's trying to install the intercooler on the F-150, but it just won't fit.
End tanks were kind of hitting on the inside of the frame rails. So we went ahead and we cut them to get it to fit. Now we got to modify and fabricate new pieces so we can go ahead and put our inlets on our intercooler. After we cut it, the coupler that slides on there, it'll want to blow off. So we put a little bead around it to keep it from coming off. I'm going to cut it on the saw and then make our bend. So now that we have our end cap tacked into place, we got 2 more plates that we need to make, and then we can go ahead and weld this side out. Now that we have our end tanks modified on our intercooler where it fits in between the frame rails, we're going to go ahead and get it installed now.
Looks like it was made to be there.
We're going to give it a once over. We still got to run our oil supply line, our drain line. We got a couple fittings that we need to install. This is our downpipe on the fender zone. We'll know exactly where we need to go with it.
Charlie and Tim are finishing up the body modifications on the front of this Baja.
We'll set the fenders up here and rough them in and see what we got.
Yeah. With way wider fenders and a fiberglass hood.
Right now, I'm making sure that the fiberglass fender doesn't hit none of the original mounts or on the cab or anything like that. So if it does, we're going to mark it now, trim it out, and then test fit it again and see how we look. Boy, look at that. That's 100% better right there.
Let's grab the hood.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
This thing is going to be a beast.
Yeah, it's going to look real cool.
My dad always told me that when I was little, I loved getting those little die-cast model cars we had to put together. He would buy me one, and then he would see me put it together, and then he'd see me taking it apart, and then put it together again. It was always a fascination in tearing apart vehicles and building something better than what we already had. Our biggest tool and one of my favorite tools is our plasma cutter. Before, there was plenty of parts that we would have to do hands-on, whereas now, computer does it all in what I would do before. Bill hates computers, and to me, computers is one of the biggest things I like to use. When we first got the machine, nobody really knew how to run it or who was going to run it, and I asked him, I was like, hey, so who's going to do it? And he just kind of like looked at me and was like, well, who else? Working with Bill, he does have high expectations for everybody, which is a good thing. He doesn't want anybody else to fail, because the way I see it is if we fail, then he fails. So, of course, he's going to want us to exceed in everything that we do, but of course, he always wants it done in 2 minutes. So.
The frame and the body work on the Baja build, but one day I'm gonna sell it. So I'm gonna pick a paint color that's just gonna turn heads. Charlie Murphy.
So man, what you got now?
Man, I need to pick a color for the old Baja.
Man, what color are you thinking about?
Let me get this paint chip off of it, see what's up. Probably one of them too.
One of them too? That one right there?
That's it, man. I chose a burnt orange metallic that'll make this Baja look like none other.
So this is what we got here. This is the color that Bill wanted. It has a lot of pearl in it and a lot of metallic in it. And as you can see, it looks real good under the light. The first thing I painted when I was a kid, I painted a bicycle. You know, I started out rattle cannon, and you know, and it started from there, and everything just kind of escalated. And then I ended up painting a 71 GMC, which was, you know, my truck. Me and my uncle did it together, and that was an experience. And then from that point on, it was over for me. There was no going back. So this here is an unusual color for the Baja truck because half a gallon is pearl. Usually you got like 15, 20 grams. This one here's got 700 grams of pearl. And then it's got 600 grams of a different pearl. So that's half a gallon right there, you know what I mean? So this is going to be beautiful out in the sun when he jumps over Spot's head.
When I see something in my head, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. This F-150 was a little rough when I first got it. We transformed it into a totally different truck. Dave is in for a huge surprise. He has no idea. I'm heading out with my guys to test out this Baja truck. As promised, I invited Dave to come check it out.
Y'all got that truck done, huh?
You're gonna be blown away when you see this truck.
Really?
It's not the same truck that we got from you.
Damn, that is completely different.
Now I can say I told you so.
You sure that's the same truck? Damn, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, man. Sure you can do it.
Bill can do it.
In typical Bill fashion, you know.
Gotta tear it up.
Told you.
You sure that's the same truck?
Promise you.
Come on. Bill, you sure that's the same truck?
Man, I can see why Dave is shocked. This thing doesn't look anything like it used to.
Oh, you did a lot of work to that thing.
Man, a lot. Started off fixing the frame. We put the frame back together so it's nice and straight now. The integrity's back in there.
I never would have thought you'd have been able to fix it.
We went ahead and took off all the old suspension, what was left of it, threw on their new long travel suspension, put some big old shocks and coilovers in the front.
Man, it looks good.
Of course, you see the color change on the whole truck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the grill, the bumpers, and the super wide fiberglass fenders and bedsides, man. That thing just looks so angry and pissed off when it's coming at you.
It does.
Little bed cage in the back holding the spares.
Sounds like I heard a turbo on that thing.
Yeah, man. You know, we had a little test drive and it just wasn't getting it, so it needed a little more power.
You gotta have more power. That's always.
Custom made a whole turbo setup for this truck. Big stainless exhaust piping through it, intercooler tubes, all that stuff. Did it right.
We about to see how much power it's got.
Yeah.
Man, I said I wanted this thing to jump over Spot. Last time we couldn't even get it over Santa. Man, and now it's time to give it another try with that new turbo.
There we go. Come on, go.
Whether it's dropping a vehicle down low, raising one up high, or jumping one through the air, you got to have a good team. And I got some of the best around. I can't thank my guys enough.
Bad.
Yeah.
You got this. You got it.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's gonna work. I told you. I know. Yeah. Hey, Bill, I gotta tell you, I never thought you'd have pulled it off. Man, that truck was hit hard, and you made it come out good. I'd really like that thing back. You think we can do something around 75?
Oh, man, come on. That thing's still too new, man. I need a little bit. Let the new wear off. I'll give you first choice, man, when it comes time.
I'm interested. Let me know.
All right. I wasn't planning on selling this truck today, but, you know, after I'm
See families doing that no more.
then you don't. Get rid of everything that's underneath and just start over. And then the fun part, the steering.
Hating myself already for coming up with another one of these ideas.
1966 Cobra replica.
Missed the roll bar.
For looks and for safety. So it's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. We got to create the structure underneath to hold all this together. This will make it or break it. Yeah! I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. None is important to me, but some builds, they just take me back. Hey, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing? Scott. Bill?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This thing's cool. It's definitely unique.
1965 Ford Falcon.
My dad used to have one similar to that, man. I learned how to drive down this road, and I was sitting up in his lap, and I remember steering this thing and not going anywhere.
Yeah, right. That's about what it is now.
The Falcon was Ford's answer to the VW bus in the 1960s. Unlike the VW, the engine isn't in the back. It's right in between the driver and the passenger seat.
I brought it here to let you work your magic. Ooh. I got 2 little ones and try to take like 3 weeks vacation on the road a year driving around, get out and see the country.
That's really cool. So you need something comfortable, reliable, and safe.
And cool.
And cool.
Getting my daughter and son excited about custom cars and maybe have them riding around in something custom someday. It's a cool thought.
Let's check this thing out.
All right.
Man, this thing's really nice in here. But just not for put your family in and go across the country on.
My wife will not drive cross country in this car with me.
What kind of engine's in this
Where'd you see this?
That's definitely not going to cut it. We might as well give it some power for Dad on the weekends.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. An engine change out is an absolute necessity. It has to be something that, I can actually keep up with traffic these days.
The dash, we'll start over, put new gauges in it. AC.
It'd be nice to have a little AC.
As far as the running gear, we just need to get rid of everything that's underneath this thing and just start over. New engine, trans, independent front suspension, rack and pinion. Make this thing drive right, because I know it's all over the road right now. Let's check out the rest of this thing. You got plenty of room in it.
A lot of studio space in there.
Yeah. You're wanting something nice, comfortable for the family, for the kids in the back. You want like TVs, iPads, anything like that?
No TVs. Stereo, music would be cool. We got to think about it being unplugged back here. Use the windows as the screens.
I get where Scott's coming from. Totally unplugging, getting out, seeing the road, and letting the family enjoy what's out there. I wish my kids could do that. Let's go make it happen.
Great.
Nothing worse than rolling up to the rest stop and seeing the exact same vehicle with a different family in it. But Scott's got it figured out. A van for the family and a cool custom van for old Dad. Why get something that everybody else has? Customizing a car, a truck, there's a little restrictions, but when you're customizing a van, there's a lot of room for improvement. There's endless possibilities for something truly custom. Come on in, buddy.
What is this?
Thing's cool, huh?
This thing's real cool.
Scott is going to use this thing to take his family all around the country.
Man, you really don't see families doing that no more, just getting together and hanging out and driving.
Then you don't. So we're going to make something really cool, comfortable, and dependable. Something they can take from state to state to state. This thing's got some miles on it. No motor. It's definitely seen better days. We got to change the power plant. I'm thinking it's a Ford truck, so we got to stick with the Ford engine. Let's go with the EcoBoost and plenty of power. Super sporty. He'll love to drive this. Hey, check this out, man. See, look at this thing.
Yeah, it needs some suspension work, huh?
It needs a little bit of suspension work. We're going to go through this whole thing, front to back, bumper. It's a nice rack and pinion on this thing, and something that's really stable and tight and fun to drive. Going from that, reconfigure the dash. He wants AC in it, of course. With all this glass in it, It's going to get super hot. And this interior, man, has got a ton of room. This is going to take some work really dialing it in. So Heath and John really got to get creative, use this space wisely, and make it comfortable for the whole family to be in it.
You sure you want to give Heath and J-Live just free reign to do whatever they want here?
No. There'll be taco sauce all over this thing.
4 disco balls and 15 speakers right here. This is a cool ride, right?
Yeah, it is, man.
You check that thing out. Hey, there's so much room.
Before we cut out any of the old suspension, I asked John and Will to take out the interior so we don't have any fires.
There we go. All right, you take that. I'll go put these in a bag.
you can never have enough bags. It's so important to label everything, every little section of the vehicle that you're taking apart. And the reason is, when you go to put it back together, you're always questioning, what did this bolt do? And so the better you label now, the more time you'll save later, and the more professional your job will be.
Man, vehicles have came a long way since this was made, huh? First thing we're going to do on this is just rip out all the suspension, motor, trans, rear end, the whole drivetrain. Let's have a bare van body underneath this thing. We'll start fresh.
Cool. This van's got problems, I got solutions. If it's got the leaf springs cut out and the shocks cut off, go ahead and raise it up and this thing should just fall right out. I'm gonna do the exact same thing to the front. Since we're going to be pulling the transmission and the engine together, I'm going to go ahead and pop our transmission linkage, shifter linkage, all that stuff. Take a couple bolts out on the bottom. Things should come out pretty easy. Now I got the big factors out of the way. I can come through here and just tear this thing down completely.
Looks good. We're ready to get going on the suspension on this thing. We want this to sit really low, set this thing on the ground with the, we're gonna have to do a notch in the unibody here and build notch plates on this structure. We'll build the notch, we'll get the rear end back in this thing, and we'll start building the 2-link suspension on this. Cool. Make a hole. This whole van is a unibody construction. What that means, there's no full frame underneath this. The frame is actually built into the body, which gives it the strength and rigidity. All this is in the way, so we're going to start by cutting all this out, get our cross member in, and then we'll go back to connecting it all back together as one.
So you see the line, how everything lines up with the top of the frame rail. This is exactly how we want it. Perfect line, straight across. It's going to be level with the top of the frame and the bottom of the frame. So once I get this tacked in, I can cut the bottoms of that off to where they're even with the frame. Now that I got the ends cut off, I'm gonna go ahead and make all the pieces to box this in. It's all gonna be out of flat bar, same size, same thickness. So I'm gonna make everything all at one time. I'm just boxing in the C-notch right now. Just all those pieces I cut out on the iron worker, tacking them in, making sure everything's square and true. And just get this all tacked in, weld it up, then I'll be ready to cut out the center.
Where far out thou, Ryan?
Huh?
You never heard Romeo and Juliet, huh?
That was before my time.
You know, this old Ford Falcon van came with a straight front axle. We're going to convert it to an independent front suspension. Ryan finished the notch on the rear end. Now he's making space for the new front suspension and the cross member.
So everything's cut out and the cross member is marked up in there, but you can see the direction that we're going to take this. So I'm going to piece everything back to this center section. Basically just start off with these pieces, make them connect, get the side pieces in there, tack everything together, weld everything out, and then we can move on to building our steering, control arms, and everything else.
You know, when a vehicle rolls up this nice, creativity to focus on the details. Things you might not even realize, we customize. So when we're done, you wouldn't even imagine it any other way. What's happening?
Hello, how you doing?
Hey man, good. Juan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You got the little Cobra, huh?
Yes, sir.
But this thing looks fun, a little replica.
It is a little replica.
You know, these cars are super cool. Original Cobras, 7 figures. Even the replicas are 6 figures. Real or fake,
it's still a pretty cool car. What do you got under the hood?
Let's go ahead and take a look.
Man, a little Chevy big block, huh?
Yes, sir.
I definitely wasn't expecting that.
A lot of people usually don't expect that when they see it. It's a 454, plus it has a 400 turbo transmission.
Well, I already know this thing has plenty of power.
That's one of the reasons why I'm here. I need something for protection, something for safety.
It's got that much power?
It feels that way to me.
I can definitely see a roll bar back here. You know, that's one thing it's definitely lacking. And for looks and for safety.
I like it.
I think to really get the feel of it, to really see what you need, I might need to drive this myself and kind of see how it feels, you know what I mean?
Hop on it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, when you're building safety equipment, see what the car feels like.
Sure that when I came in, Bill already knew what I was really looking for. But any excuse to get it out on the open road, hey, it's fine by me.
This thing rides good, handles good, looks good. But I definitely see what you mean. You know, at times it feels kind of squirrely and unsafe for sure, just because it has so much power. I appreciate you letting me drive this thing, really getting a feel for it. It actually does help with the concept of the styling of the car.
Yeah, that's the only true way to get to an understanding and seeing the need for it.
For sure.
Or maybe, yeah, it does need it. That was something, wasn't it?
This thing's fun to drive for sure. We'll take care of it for you, man.
I appreciate it.
Let's go do some paperwork.
Thanks, sir.
You know, when you think roll bar, it's just a straight bar with two bends and comes down and protects you. When you're designing a roll bar for such an iconic sports car, that's a totally different subject. That not only safety in mind, but something that's totally stylish, and with every angle you look at it, you want the design of the roll bar to flow with the rest of the car.
Oh, here it is. It's not bad, not bad. What are we gonna do to it?
We're gonna body drop it.
Come on.
No, man. I mean, you see, this thing's missing something.
Missed the roll bar.
You know, this has a big block Chevy in it, runs super good. If he's not paying attention, he's gonna need some extra protection on this thing for sure.
Definitely. That's a good idea.
You've seen the ones with the loop back here, the big bar in the back. We don't want that. We want something that has clean lines with it, something that emulates the front curvature of the glass. So when you're behind this thing, it just matches perfect. And not only from the rear angle or the front angle, from the side too. We want to slope this thing so it all flows together. Once we get it all done, we're going to chrome it too, so it matches front and rear bumpers.
So I understand the idea you want to do. How are we going to angle this down to the frame?
Man, we're just going to put some plates here and bolt it to the fiberglass so it looks cool.
I know better than that.
No. You know, I haven't taken all this apart to really see how to tie it in yet. You know, that's what we need to do next. Strip it out, strip the trunk for a solid foundation.
Okay.
What we're going to do is get to it.
Yeah, let's do it. It's kind of crazy. That's what holds the seatbelt on. All right, last piece. All I got left to do is pull this carpet, this padding behind it. Then we'll kind of be ready to start figure out how we're going to put the roll bar in here safe, and then we'll worry about how we're going to style it.
Oh, got it, huh?
Yeah,
how you do that? Man, there's just nothing to tie anything to.
No.
Not only are we going to have to create the roll bar itself, we got to create the structure underneath to hold all this together. So it's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. You can't mount anything to just fiberglass. You got to have a backing support. Perfect. Going to the frame to really make everything super strong and super safe.
All right, man. It's in there.
Then we got our foundation. This is going to be, you know, like the cherry on top of this whole car. Let's get this cut. This will make it or break it. Didn't want to put a roll bar way back here in the back. In my opinion, it looks a total afterthought.
That looks better already.
Right? I want lean and flowing, so we had to cut the corner of the body out. It's a real subtle difference. I mean, that's what you want. When this thing is done and finished and painted, you will never know it was ever messed with, because because the lines are still going to flow and look like it was originally made like that. We're going to roll this pipe so everything has the same flow. So the same arc for the roll bar as it does for the windshield. So we want something that all plays together. Cool. See, we got our line and our square little box here. So we have 48 inches from here to here, and that's the widest point of the car. So we have to bend this so it fits in this box. Then we know when we take it over to that car, it's gonna fit. This might be a replica of a 1966 Cobra, but it's got a real deal 454 Chevy Big Block. So the roll bar we're making, it has to protect the passengers above all, while also looking like the Cobra should have from the factory. It's got a pretty damn good flow. Maybe a quarter measure all day long, but especially something like this, it's pretty damn close. Everybody's going to be looking at it. They're not going to be measuring it.
Did you ever get in trouble for standing on the couch?
You really want to check every angle. Say that real quick, Jim. You want to really get back and get a feel for the overall car itself in relation to what you're building to it. That looks real good.
I like it. It looks nice.
Let's tack this sucker on. The next step of this thing to making it one whole unit is connecting the outer plate to the inner plate and making that plate go all the way down to the frame. We have our plates on the frame, so the next thing is making the pipe from plate to plate. So we're going to put the wheel on, drop it down. Let's see where this thing rides at and how much room we have in between the wheel and the bracket. We definitely don't want the tire to rub. That would definitely cause a blowout, and we don't want to test out our roll cage that quickly. Factory engine on a 1965 Ford Falcon only had 85 horsepower. On the plus side, it was fairly compact horsepower. That thing's cool. A little four-cylinder, huh?
Four-cylinder, 2.3 liter twin scroll turbo, 300 plus horsepower.
Man, that is bad.
They're putting these things in the Mustangs, Ford F-150s. Guys at the track are killing it with them.
That's the perfect combination for this little project.
It is.
Watch your ankles. This thing's light enough where we can just manhandle it up in there from the bottom. Scoot it this way a little bit.
Which way? Forward?
I think you might have to get the lube out, buddy.
It's close or what? Yeah.
How's it looking back there?
That's all I got. I'm touching the floor back here.
Okay, forward.
This side there. Go right there. Good.
Fits in there good. Got to make the doghouse a little wider. I don't know if we need to make it taller or anything. Let's get the rack on this thing and make sure all this is going to work. And then the fun part, the steering. That's looking real good. Got the radiator in, rack mounted.
Looking all right. You see what I'm looking at though?
Yeah, you know the next thing is coming. And you got the column out here. The wheels are way out here. It's super easy to connect the rack to the steering.
Yeah.
But on this, we're going to have to connect the column all the way back here to the rack.
It might not seem that hard, but out of all the ones that I've done over the years, I've never had to deal with this.
Yeah. Anytime you see it when it's done, you go, oh, that's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's figuring it out and getting it to that point.
Exactly.
Always like a challenge.
Yeah, of course.
Let's drop it down.
All right.
What we're doing right now is just putting the column in its place. So everything needs to be mocked up. You know where everything's at before you can start anything. This is just where the factory alignment was. We put it back in the original spot. So next thing is to lift this thing up and start making the snake. You see how much room we have here is not very much at all. So we got the column as far into the van as possible, but it's still a little too long. Let's cut the end of that column off. All right.
and then we're gonna drill a hole in it all the way through. All right. We're gonna cut you a little piece of the double D. So we use this little knuckle here, but we can start with this once it's at the bottom of the column. Ain't gonna work. I've never used a double knuckle like that before, and man, it's just lining up. I haven't either. The main thing you look for when you're figuring out a steering shaft is make sure all the U-joints aren't in a bind. You want it to be smooth, free, and clear. And double knuckle is too many moving parts all at once. There's no stabilization in something like that, so it's just gonna flop all around. So it's one frustration after another, right? Oh, man, you said it. Because we changed the 1965 Ford Falcon van to independent front suspension, we knew getting the steering configuration was going to be a lot of trial and error.
What's up, fellas? Look what I got here.
Buddy?
Oh, fresh out the box.
That's what we need. A 90-degree small gearbox. Hopefully, when we turn left, it goes left. When we turn right, it goes right.
If your calculations are correct.
We'll see once we get all this in.
Cool.
That's how I deliver.
Appreciate it, Tom.
See ya.
It's gonna make life a lot easier.
Let's pull the column back. Let's get this in place and slip.
As far as I can go up without taking everything apart.
Up towards the bump. Not quite that far. All right, that's it. Hold it right there just a second. Cool. Let's make the bracket for this and just continue the snake.
I'm making a bracket for this steering box to hold it exactly where we want it. Just take a couple pieces of cardboard, make your template, get exactly how you want it, and then boom, go over there and make it in no time.
Yeah. Turn to the right. That's exactly what we needed. Problem solved, man.
I love hearing those words.
Man, it works good.
Awesome.
You know, I was super nervous about how we're going to get this to here. Never done that before. It looks simple now, you know, once it's done, but ingenuity behind it, there's a little bit of figuring. Button it up, let's get it to the body shop.
Cool.
The roll bar is getting chromed on the 1966 Cobra replica. However, there's one thing still bothering me. There's just a hole drilled in. I mean, I don't get it. I can't believe somebody thought that's a good idea and that would be safe. We have to address this. We're going to come up with a way to make a little bracket to tie it into the frame. And that way, this thing is safe and secure, and it's a total, complete, safe package. Be really comfortable putting a seatbelt on that now. It's not just the seat belts, the seats are also bolted to the fiberglass. So we're gonna fix that too with some new brackets.
All right, everything looks good. It's all welded in. Should be nice and safe now.
We're gonna push this thing in for a quick body and paint. And then we're gonna install the freshly chrome roll bar. I'll hand it to you over the car.
Don't scratch nothing.
Why'd you have to make it so perfect, Jamie? We got this build as cool as we can make it. It not only looks better, but what's really important, this thing is a lot safer than when it pulled up. That's how I'd want it for my family, for sure. What's up, man?
Good morning, Mr. Bill. How you doing?
Good morning, man. Real good. You ready?
I'm ready as I'm going to be.
I know when you came in, you know, you had a couple issues with that car. The car looked cool, but there was nothing to keep you safe in that thing. We got you definitely hooked up on this.
That's the reason why I came here.
You ready to check it out?
I'm ready.
Jamie, let's get it.
Ooh, look at that. Man, that's exactly what I was looking for. Classy, elegant, and unique. Seeing the car for the first time, it was like, wow, it's Christmas for me again. Woo.
Woo-wee. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So you're liking it?
I'm liking it.
Safety was your major concern on this. We addressed that for sure. Built something not only safe for you, but stylish. Rolled some pipe, made it the same contour as the windshield and also the same angle as the windshield. We actually notched out the corners of the body itself to give the roll bar a little more room in between the seat and the body. So everything just flows together.
I hadn't even noticed until you mentioned it. I mean, it looks like it was that way already.
Right. You know, it's tough to come up with something new on such an iconic car, but as you can see, it's exactly what he wanted. It's all super strong and tied to the frame. You know, while we're underneath the car, we definitely noticed a lot of safety issues underneath this thing.
Blew my mind when I seen this. The seat belts were just drilled through the fiberglass body, just holding in with an anchor and a washer, and that was it.
We couldn't let you roll out like that. You know, all this hard work would have been for nothing if you would have just been ejected out of the car if something would have happened.
You're right about that. I mean, it would have been with this kind of heat, be like scrambled eggs on the sidewalk.
So we went ahead and reinforced it with metal, made everything strong tied to the frame. Now it's really safe.
That's why I knew that I had to come here. If you would have seen something that was not going to be done right, you're going to handle it and do it right. Safety was my big concern. Now, I can definitely say I feel safe now.
You know, you wouldn't think just a roll bar would give you a different attitude about something. In this case, it definitely does. You feel safer, more confident, and it looks good.
I just want to say thank you to Bill and all his men here at Extensive. They did a phenomenal job. They went ahead and they put a bolt right here, so that way the belt is actually on the frame.
But now you're safe.
Every time I got in the car, I used to be nervous. You don't want to sit on the other side with me? Now I really feel safe. That too.
I got the wind in my hair.
We gave the Falcon van a custom air ride, a new steering configuration, and an engine swap. Now the body guys are going to prep the cab for paint. What I don't want it to look like is some 70s peace van, you know, with fluorescent colors or something like that. I do kind of like that. I wanted my first truck kind of that color. It's just fitting to have, you know, the kids have their say-so in the color of the whole truck. I picked a couple of colors because I don't want this van looking cheesy. You don't want a loud, fluorescent, off-the-wall color that next year is going to get old on you. It's a family heirloom. It's going to be passed down to them. So if they pick the wrong color, they're stuck with it no matter what. They picked it. You know, a huge part of the custom world is dads handing down their passion for cars to their kids. That's how we keep this whole thing going. So we just love how Scott's getting it. What's happening?
Hi, Bill. Nice to see you.
I got Heath here. Hi, guys.
Hi, Heath.
You guys ready to pick some colors? He's so shy.
Ready? This is the brown.
No, I don't like the brown.
Okay. There's a green. The green looks cool.
I like the green. Let's see what's next.
Got like a tan, like a goldish tan.
Oh, man.
All right, there we go. All three of them at once.
So vote for my favorite one.
I like green.
Green's your favorite, Cole? What's your favorite?
My favorite is tan.
Your favorite's tan.
All right, Scott. You're the tiebreaker.
Maybe we could do three layers.
So I think it's going to be green.
Green it is. You got it. It's a great choice.
All right, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Hey, it was nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Green it is. You know, all honesty, that was the color I was hoping they picked. This green is really going to make the whole thing stand out. With so much space in this van, the sky's the limit. And that's what I asked John to do.
This thing is as big as the sky, so we're going to do a starlight headliner on it. I'm going to start when I go to put in the fiber optic lights. I'm actually going to be using a needle to poke holes in this, so I need something that's thin enough and easy enough to get through, but yet still strong enough to help hold the form and shape. Hey, look at that. It stayed together. Now that we got the headliner all built,
wrapped and ready to go. The next thing we got to do is we got to install the fiber optic lighting. To do that, I'm going to have to take these fiber optic strands here and I have to poke individual holes for every one of them. I've got 780 of them here. I better get started. I want to try to get this thing done before the real stars come out. There's really no easy way to go about this. It's just going to be time consuming and just got to sit here and do it. You know, it's just going to matter of poking all these holes and running everything through. But the final product will be so worth it. And I think it's really going to have that wow factor.
Rather than using the old windows on that fresh paint, Chad's going to make some new ones by hand.
Okay, what we're doing here is they don't produce a lot of these windows, and it's hard to find one that's in a good shape with no scratches, so we have to make our own. This glass here is actually laminate glass. It's 2 pieces of glass with a piece of lamination, cracks it, it doesn't shatter. And what I'm doing now is I'm scoring the glass to get through the first layer. Well, the glass is really a delicate material, so what I have to do is I have to get in here and I have to break it through. Now what we're doing is we're taking some denatured alcohol and we're softening up the lamination in the center so I can cut through it and get a better finish. There we go. It's time to put it in and see what it looks like. Well, what I'm doing is I'm setting it inside the lip here, and then I gotta tuck the rope on the inside so I can tuck the lip around the pin flow. And we're locking the gasket in. And what I'm looking for is making sure there's no imperfections, and the gasket is tucked nice against the vehicle. It's looking good, so it's time to move on to the next one.
After 4 long days of dealing with this and poking all these holes, finally have them all in. As you can see, there's a ton of fiber optics here. What this is basically, it is cast down through the fiber optics, and anywhere that you cut it off at, as you can see, the ends of it will light up. I'm only gonna do this 780 times. About halfway there. 780. All right, let's see what this thing looks like. It's looking stellar, you could say. Kids should love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be like camping out at night. Yeah, just riding along, looking at the stars. All we got left to do now is get this thing installed in the van and get all the trim work in around it.
You know, it's pretty cool. I think back of all the days growing up with my dad, working with my dad. He loved welding and fabricating, you know, and taught me that skill set. And I applied that to the car aspect.
Totally opposite.
Totally opposite for you. Your dad
was everything into it, but not a welder, fabricator, nothing like that.
Me and him are a lot alike. My dad's all in the cars. I would have rather been in the shop with my dad getting dirty rather than sitting at home on the couch.
You know, they inspired us and footprint on our children.
Mm-hmm. Dude, my kid's 4 next month, and he's really taking a liking to all this stuff. It'll be really cool, you know, to see him kind of follow my footsteps.
That's it. Keep it going.
Keep it going, man.
The most important part is showing your kids your passion for something.
Yeah, just gives them a little want to, you know what I mean? You gotta have that want to. If you don't care to do anything, you're never gonna be good at anything.
Thanks, Dad. You know, the Starry Night headliner is definitely one-of-a-kind touch, and it just adds all the customization that we've already done to that 65 Ford Falcon van.
That's pretty crooked board. When I finished up the Starlight headliner in the van, I thought I was done poking holes, but as I sat there, I thought about the way we can incorporate the starlights into the seats as well. I think I'm hating myself already for coming up with another one of these ideas and these fiber optics, but it'll be worth it in the end. Got this Peruvian walnut all carved out and ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a hand router and create the pocket
pocket inside of it. You know, with this thing being handmade, it really looks like it belongs in a 1965 Ford Falcon van. You know, back then, there were still a lot of the cars that were handmade. Now I have to drill 200 holes to run my fiber optics through. I was talking about how I thought I'd learned my lesson on the first go around with these things, but no. Just going to trim these back. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool effect having them in the seats. Kind of seamless all the way from the ceiling into the seats. That's something I've never seen before. So next thing I got to do is pour the epoxy. I want it to match the seats. So I got some dye mixed up to match the leather in the van. I'm going to take my epoxy and get it mixed up. We'll get the color in it, and we'll pour this in there and let it dry. The trick here is to make sure to not overfill it, so just kind of evenly distributing it. You definitely don't want it running out all over the place, so. All right, now that I got the seats all covered and everything, the next thing I got to do is just get the nerve up and cut this thing open. Oh, it's a sickening feeling. It'll so be worth it. You just got to remember that. It'll be worth it. So once I get this all glued in here, then we'll get the emblem in it.
Man, this looks good, dude.
Yeah, man, I think it turned out real nice.
And they're gonna love it, dude.
Well worth it, you know. I can't wait to get it to the kids and let them see this thing.
God and his family have been waiting a long time for this van, and I know they're ready to get it back. Scott's a really busy guy running his construction company up in Chicago, so we're gonna ship this van straight up to him. Since this is a family van, I thought I'd ask my kids just to get their take on it, see if it's cool. You guys ready to go home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Been working hard today?
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, I want you to check out something. We just built a van for a customer in Chicago. We got to ship this thing back. But before we do, I want your guys' opinion on this, see how good we did.
Okay, let's go check it out.
You want to see it? Yeah, let's go do it. Come on. Come on. So I want your guys' honest opinion, okay?
Okay.
Not just because I'm your dad. I want you to really tell me what you think, okay? Yes, sir.
We've seen a lot of like what our dad does around here. He just never really asks for our opinions.
This must be like a pretty special one. John's bringing this thing out right now. It's going to be here any second. You know, the moment of truth, I hope they like this. Like it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's really cool.
The green makes it so good. You know, when this van came in, it was in decent shape, but it wasn't in this good a shape. We had to rip out all the old suspension, and we put brand new air suspension on this thing. With rack and pinion steering, it drives like a modern car should. The way it sits like really, really, really low to the ground, so cool. Right? Yeah. It gives a new little attitude. You know, we spent a lot of time on the suspension and steering on this van, but, you know, the kids would never know that. That's all they want to see is just this thing go down the ground and get really low. And the old engine just wasn't cutting it either, so we got a brand new 4-cylinder turbocharged in this thing.
That's cool.
That's why you hear that nice little blow-off valve when it comes up. It goes, it's got plenty power. Of course, we had to have upgraded brakes, big wheels, freshened up all the paint, and all new chrome. And I really like the color. I think it makes the van pretty unique. His kids picked that color out.
They have good taste.
Yeah.
You know, I spent a lot of time on this interior thinking about my kids, his kids, me personally. I love it, but I can't wait to see what you guys think about it. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Check this out.
That is very
I like the lights.
The stars make that so nice. John's got a lot of time in this thing.
I spent at least a week poking holes and running lights. By the end of it, I was done with it.
It looks worth it.
It was well worth it. I'm very happy with it.
That being in this van made it 10 times cooler.
That's stuff we don't see every day in a van. You guys get in there and check it out.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
They're really comfortable.
Right? Very.
Yeah. I love how many windows there are.
The lights look better up close, too. You know, you guys are so busy looking up there, you didn't even notice there's no TVs and no screens. anywhere in here, right? The whole point of this is family time.
Yeah.
Just being focused on family and the trip and spending time together and not on your phones or, watching a video.
I think these guys' kids are definitely going to enjoy, have lots of fun adventures and trips in this van.
I'm already jealous that they get to take a ride in that.
This is my favorite car that you built.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess we did pretty good, John.
That's why you gotta make us one.
John did most of the work.
I got my kids' seal of approval, so I know Scott's kids are definitely gonna love this van. Look in the overall van, the interior. Man, I love this little van. And Scott, I can't wait for you to take your family on the road and really hear about those trips you're gonna take together. If you're ever road tripping through.
Nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It would have been on extensive.
Where to begin? Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party, we go to shows. No, this just isn't keeping up. Let's get crazy, all right? Ice, beer, food.
This thing's gonna be so loud, it's gonna slap them right in the face.
Oh my God. Man, that's crazy. I love it.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Every day on my way to work, I always pick up some breakfast for myself. And I tend to pick up a little extra for the dogs on the streets. When I get to the shop, I usually have 3 or 4 dogs, extensive. We like to take care of business. That's inside the shop, outside the shop, it goes all the way around. And when I say outside the shop, I mean the neighborhood dogs.
A lot of them are super friendly. They just come up into the shop, walk around, look around, check out the new projects, and go on with their day.
Don't drop them off here, but the ones who need help, we got a big heart and try to help them all the time.
After a little bit of TLC, they become part of our gang. So just like everybody takes care of each other here at the shop, we got to take care of them and they take care of us.
My friend Dorian owns PSE, our diesel guys, says he has a customer with, a truck that has a few little issues. So today we're going to get it in and check it out. Hearing creaks and moans in a truck that high off the ground could mean multiple things. Could be just a little lube here and there, or it could be a catastrophe waiting to happen.
What's up, Bill?
How's it going, man?
CJ.
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. This is the one you were telling me about, huh?
That's the one, man.
Man, it looks good from here, but you got some problems underneath.
A lot of problems.
It's all yours now.
Well, man, let's check it out.
Yeah, I'll let y'all talk. Let me go talk to Rudy.
All right. You see a couple of issues just as soon as you walk up to it, huh? Just all the welding and grinding and everything up front. It just looks... Man, you can't have that. Oh, man.
Told you it was bad.
These drop downs are just super sketchy, man. There's nothing even holding this but bolts on the outside. Man, that holds the whole weight of the truck, your load, everything. There's nothing to hold this thing from flipping out. Man, that is really dangerous. A stock 2017 F350 with no lift weighs over 8,000 pounds. This is exactly what I didn't want to see. A truck this high that weighs this much, that somebody could be driving down the road next to my family and yours. I mean, it's super unsafe, and this is something that needs to be addressed immediately. Oh, man, I thought this was the bad part, but that's...
Needs a lot of attention back there, Bill.
You don't even have really any of the plates bending. Bag mounts are all twisted. The 4-link bracket is about to rip off the axle. And whoever did this has no business building anything like this at all.
And the sad part is it hasn't even been driven, really.
Man, thank God you didn't get in it and drive it down the street and hook a trailer to this thing. It's just an accident waiting to happen.
It's not good. I go to shows and we travel all across the country, and this is one of the trucks that I use to do most of the traveling with, and I have a lot of weight back there that I pull around too, and a lot of money back there too, so if something happens, I don't know what I would have done. When I picked it up, I didn't know that it was that bad. It was that crazy.
What do you put behind this? You got a gooseneck trailer in this thing?
I got a 40-foot. I've got 2 matching rigs. I got a big 95 old body style, and I got another matching Tahoe. And they all go on that 40-foot, so I needed to do what I bought it to do.
Oh, you want to be able to actually use it?
Yeah. Need a usable dually. Right now, I can't even drive it. Feels like it's going to fall apart.
Man, I've seen this look a million times. When you're giving someone the bad news, he paid good money for somebody to do this to his vehicle, and we got to redo it again. That's how the Tree of Shame was built. Let's get this thing unloaded, man. We'll get going on it, and we'll make it right for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go make it official.
Let's do it.
You know, this is Texas, so everybody wants, custom vehicle. Because of that, there's almost an endless supply of customers that want to get work done to their vehicle, and there's plenty of shops around. Just take advantage of that. Don't really know what they're doing. They just want to make a quick buck, and this is a prime example. Unfortunately, we do see this quite often. You definitely have to be careful of who does your work for you. Especially on a project of this size, man, as heavy as this thing is, it's probably 8,500 pounds. That going at 70, 80 miles an hour and something breaking on this thing is going to somersault down the road and it's going to kill somebody. When we're done with this truck, this thing's not only going to look cooler, it's going to be way safer.
I didn't know Fisher Price made lift kits.
This is scary. This is super dangerous. There is no kind of support here holding this to the frame other than, I think they have 1 or 2 bolts underneath here. That's it. Bolts on the outside, a couple of them are just for looks. They're just stuck in the hole of silicone. Well, man, it's really scary.
And please tell me he didn't drive this thing here.
Man, he didn't drive it. He's only drove it around the parking lot, maybe a quarter mile, half a mile. That's all the damage of just the stopping and starting with this much weight with some shady brackets like that.
I can't believe somebody sold him this job.
I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's what, a lot of people don't know. They're driving around with stuff like this. I mean, that's really scary. There's definitely a few things that we got to address on this thing. One of the first ones is putting some support back into this, attaching it to the frame, making it super safe and strong. We can use what's here. The basic design is here. The geometry is, for the most part, correct. Build some supports, some nice tubular supports to connect each thing. We can powder coat it in blue to match all the rest of the truck, and that'll tie everything in together. Next we're just gonna pull the axle completely out. Let's start over fresh, cut everything off. The 4-link brackets, the bag brackets, I mean, all of it's trash. We'll build all new bracketry, incorporate some tube work in that also, so it looks cool and is really strong. Definitely always
look, there's something going on.
At least we got a lot of stuff we can put on the Tree of Shame.
Definitely get that extensive forest going.
There's gonna be a lot. Let's go, man. Let's get ready.
Alright. First thing we gotta do before we lift this truck, we gotta release the air pressure out of the bags. Like that.
This is like a crime scene investigation. Tim and John got to go through every inch of this truck to find all the bad work, tear it all out. Then we can start to make things right.
Man, look at this. We got a rub mark here from the tire. If it would have rubbed even more, it would have eventually went all the way through and we would have lost air pressure in this corner and would have just been a disaster. When you remove that bag on that side, was it tight? Had a little rock to it. We got like 1/8-inch gap between the base of the bag and where it's supposed to sit. One turn turn and it came off. Look at that. Look how many threads was holding. Just one thread.
They're uneven cuts, even strip bolts that are welded together.
You know you're not supposed to weld bolts, right? Because they're weak.
You had to cut the bracket so it would fit.
You got a weak point on top, might as well make the bottom one weak too, huh?
This plate comes all the way down to here and over. Here and over. And nothing
But
in
it's
the back.
hollow inside, huh?
And nothing tying them together. So all it is a big prop bar just peeling that metal away. You see,
That's why it's ripped right here and right there.
There's a bar 7 foot long. When that bar moves up, all it's doing is peeling this back like a tin can. This is the weakest point right here. It's just gonna start peeling that metal up.
Where to begin?
In order for John and I to even get started on this rear end, let's cut everything off of it that was done before, go back to stock, start over from scratch, and do it 100% right.
So we can rebuild it the right way. We're going to keep the existing drop-down brackets, but Tim and John are going to add a ton of strength to them.
Okay, so what I'm about to do is burn out a 4-inch by 4-inch hole here. That way it gives us access to the bolts we're going to add to this. So we can reach in here and put a nut on every bolt that we can. That way it makes it extra tight to the frame.
When we tore this down, there's a big gap between the bracket and the frame. There's still little gaps, we filled it in with flat bar. Now that that's filled in, that gives it a solid mount. We bent this piece here, bolted to the frame, then we'll weld it all the way down. So what it's ultimately going to be is a cradle that sandwiches a frame, and have bars in between that make it 100% strong and sturdy.
Working on a previously customized vehicle is a lot more work to go back and fix than something you just start from scratch. Righting a wrong, in this case, a bunch of wrongs, have been a big part of my business. On the other hand, I like the challenge. It keeps us on point. Yeah, always ready. And good thing too, because we're always getting calls, come on over, we need some help. Hey, what's happening, man?
Oh, hey, what's up? Phil? Eric.
Nice to meet you, man. This yours, huh?
Yeah, this is mine.
Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party, we go to shows.
Yeah.
And, this just isn't keeping up. I got the trailer down in Florida. It pulled into my booth. It was pretty cool, towed behind this cool van. It was my birthday, had the for sale sign on it. Gave a little nudge to my wife, and here we are.
You just need something just to wake this thing up to draw the crowd over to your booth, huh?
Exactly, yeah. What I want it to be like, is when we show up, it's like, stealth has arrived. This badass trailer that we get ice, beer, food, everyone's hanging out.
I don't see any place here for any ice or any storage or anything right here. Just
No, it's pretty blank right now.
Man, I love the idea of a party trailer. I mean, the basics are here. We just got to expand upon it and make something over the top and just cool. Man, we can definitely wake this thing up. Like this grill, man. This was, did you find this?
Yeah, well, it fit, so I put it in there.
Carry on this thing. You got a party trailer, you gotta have music. You gotta have a lot of music. And maybe even some air suspension on this thing. Something where you can raise and lower when you're going off-road. We can get crazy with it.
Yeah.
If you're down for that.
Yeah. Crazy is what I want. Let's get crazy, all right? Whatever it takes to make something cool. I want people to come up to our booth. I want to be able to hear what's going on. I want to be able to project that sound as drinks, as food, people hanging out, music. I mean, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Go all out,
Man,
get this thing out here.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, sweet.
All right. party trailer was a great idea. It's a great concept. It works okay. It draws some attention. But we're going to take this thing and just draw a lot of attention. This thing is going to be not just something people are going to talk about. Wherever show it's at, wherever event it's at, people are going to want to come see this in person. You know, on a vehicle, you got to work around what's there. There's all kind of parameters to work with. You know, something like this, you just have a good time, only restricted by your imagination. And we're going to let our imagination just go crazy on this. You know, you're creating a party and
looks like it's got sausage in it.
Mine's better than yours. Need a cerveza.
Need something.
You guys, do you ever work?
We're just trying it out.
Make sure it works, huh?
Don't worry.
it's not lunchtime anymore.
Well, it's taco time now.
Yeah.
Well, this is the next project we're going to be doing right here.
Cool.
You know, this thing it's cool. We're going to make it way, way cooler. We're going to make this thing party on wheels.
Fully functioning, one stop, make it, eat it, party.
Absolutely. You know, right now we just have an old wore-out grill, old smoker. That's it. No storage, no place for ice, no place for drinks. You know, new grill, new smoker, just something just crazy.
We have a tortilla maker.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll go with the trailer everywhere. That'd be cool.
You know, next problem this thing has is suspension. This thing's almost riding on solid axles. We're going to put air suspension on this thing too. Going to car shows, events, and you know how loud some of those events get. So we want this to be the loudest. Not only loud, we want the lighting, we want cooking, eating, the total experience.
Cool, man. After this thing gets the suspension down, we can go to town. I see a bunch of like tower speakers around here.
We got room in here for a few subs. We can get in here, get playing some nice lows out for everybody.
Yeah, right out the bottom. Like maybe some acrylic on the top. You can light it up.
And cut cup holders into the acrylic.
That's an awesome idea. We were told to go crazy, so that's what we're going to do is go crazy on it. Let's make something just totally off the wall.
I think we got it.
We've done a couple things. We'll be all right.
All right.
Finish my taco. Start tearing this thing down, brother?
Yes, sir. I guess taco time's over. It's time to tear it up and build a new place to eat.
Let's do it.
Hey, easy, buddy.
Right now, we're going to go and pull all this wood out of here so Bill and the guys can do what they got to do.
There it goes.
Easy enough.
Wow.
Good. Going up, bay 2.
For a regular trailer just going down the street hauling whatever, these axles work pretty well. But with them having that big tire on it, it makes it want to bounce more. There's no kind of shock system to it. The 4-link system is going to be a way better system, especially going off-road, little twists and turns. You know, you want a little more clearance out of it. It's going to ride a whole lot smoother than just one axle right here. Yeah, it's probably a good thing he's changing it. It's all broke right here. It's all cracked. It looks like it's been broke a couple of times. I just kept adding weld to it every time it broke.
At least it's at the right place now.
Not even that heavy. No wonder it was bending up.
Yeah. That's out. Now we have the axle out of the way, we have the brackets out of the way. We can clean this all up and we can start fresh.
So we're gonna go ahead and cut the smoker off. It'd be nice and easy if we could just go ahead and cut around the circumference of it. But unfortunately, it looks like there's more welds underneath. Hope you got a smoking good deal on that one. This thing ever smokes.
Because this is a party trailer, it's about function as much as form. We need to smoke and grill like only Texans can. Something completely custom. So I made a call to the pros.
What's up, Bill?
What's happening, man?
What's up, bro?
These things look good, man.
Yes, sir. We got a beautiful heavy-duty barbecue safe smoker and a solid stainless steel industrial gas grill, man, that can handle the vibrations of the road. Built all by hand right here in Houston.
Craftsmanship looks great.
It's all primer for you, ready for that beautiful paint job you're going to put on it. And I'm excited to see what you guys can do with it.
Let's get it off and get it going. Time to get to work.
Yes, sir.
That's a real critical part of building this party trailer is getting the cooking and preparation areas all laid out right. We got some really cool custom grills made for this thing, and super important. This time around, we're gonna make sure every part has a purpose and everything is where it's supposed to be. To improve the functionality, we're putting the grill and the smoker on the back of the trailer.
What we're gonna do is take the existing barbecue pit and we're gonna drop it down, because if we were just to make these fit right here, it would be way up here. And you can't cook meat like that. You're gonna burn the chicken. This is a stronger joint than just butting something up and welding it all the way around. So we're gonna make a 45 here and then an offset 45 right here to kick back. Some people would just cut this off and just throw a tube down and kick her over. That's not how we do things here at Extensive. Woo! You need me to hold it, Jimmy? Pick up on it so I don't mind. Oh! I was going to get a hammer. That works too.
We're going to use 3x3 steel so it'll hold up all that weight. Alright, so I see we dropped them down about 8 inches, so we're not having to reach up too high. Go ahead and mount these pits and drill some holes for the mounting bolts. Yeah, straight. Whoa, down a little bit. Put up. That looks good, huh, Jamie?
Looks nice. Step down the frame. Everything. It's gonna make it super easy to cook.
Perfect height, yeah.
You know, Tim and John have really been putting a lot of work on the F350, but it's heading in the right direction. Now they're lining up the rear axle to get it connected to the 4-lane.
What we're doing now, we got the axle where it needs to be. And with the bars that we have, we're designing some brackets that go around the rear end and connect the bar to the rear end. So right now, John's just kind of sketching something out. We'll give it to Rudy. He'll burn us 4 of them out. We'll punch a hole in it and put them on the rear end. Looks good.
4. Good beef jerky.
Hey, boss. Hey, what's the plan?
We need 4 of these.
For a truck this size, we always try to over-engineer it. In that case, we use 1/4-inch plate for all the brackets and tabs on this truck, which will make it a whole lot stronger. We're gonna make sure that's flush with the rear end. When we do that, we know this is in line with this one, that one's in line with that one, because this is straight all the way across. We always want to double check all these measurements to make sure everything's 100%. When you look at this tire, it'll match that tire perfectly and they'll track together all the way down the road. If not, you'll get it tracking like this and you'll see the back end of the truck either going that way or that way because the axle's not exactly centered.
The reason we weld the insides first before we box it is it makes it a lot stronger. There's a lot more weld to the axle. A lot of people will make these already boxed in. They'll place them on the axle. Well, you could only weld the outsides. You cannot get to the inside. So we like to do it like this, so it's stronger. Some pretty good welds there. Myself on a pat on the back.
Now that John's got all this welded in, it's really strong. This with some pipe rolled across here, some other pipe crossing it, it'll be fully welded all the way around, and it's going to make a shape that's going to make it extra strong.
Yeah.
We're going to trace this one where it's going to intercross each other. We'll cut this one will weld to this one, and this one will continue all the way to the rear end.
This is going to be extra fun.
The only problem with running all this pipe work like we do is you never get a simple 90-degree cut or a 45-degree cut. Everything's a weird coat that you got to do to make one pipe tie into the next. It's never really easy. There's always a challenge. But if you take your time and cut a little bit at a time, grind a little bit at a time, make it fit right, it'll just make the weld look a whole lot better with a tight fit.
Time. It just takes time.
Really rough shape. We've replaced all the old sketchy rear metalwork with a brand new rear suspension. We're going to mock it all up with the existing 4-lane bars. That looks like shit, man. Hot thread here.
This bar is not only short, it's also bent at the end.
From a splice. I guess they ran out of material, spliced it. I mean, that's one thing you don't do. Is splice a 4-lane bar.
If we'd have left this like this and like this, nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It would have been on extensive.
So we can't have that. We got to make it look right and perform right.
So what we're going to do is go ahead and build 2 new upper bars for this. You see right here where this one's all bent. They had this much of one stick left over and then this much of another stick left over. It looks like they just butted it together, beveled it, and then welded it to make one long pipe. The way it's welded together right here, it gives it a point to where it's been heated up. It could be brittle, or it could just break off altogether because it won't hold. So we don't want to take a chance in something they spliced together. So we just went and got a whole new piece of DOM. That's going to make it what we need, as strong as we need, as straight as we need, and it's going to... These are our new weld-in bungs. And the weld will go from there to there, so when it gets powder coat and everything is done, it'll look real nice and smooth. Perfect. All right, John, weld it out.
When this party trailer shows up to events, the owner wants this thing to grab all the attention. Heath and John are going to make this thing happen with custom seats, bar tops, and a ton of audio.
Got it? Yep. Bingo then. It's all you. For the countertop, what we're actually going to do is make an acrylic sandwich. It's going to be lit up in the center with LEDs. The hard part is going to be cutting the brittle material without breaking it. That'll work. Are you lining up on this corner?
Yes.
Well, then we're there. The last thing we have left to do is cut out the opening for the ice chest. Got this piece of MDF cut out as a template. Look at that. All we're going to do is transfer it into plastic now. Nice. The top, so we can get the lighting in it. I'll use the black plastic as my template. Just follow my plastic around and it'll be a perfect copy of what I've already got. Continue the process all the way down as we get all the pieces made. Once they're done, all we're going to do is get someone to come clean up our mess. Yeah, good luck with that. All right, see what we got here. Nice. We decided to go with these boat seats. They can handle any kind of water, any rain, any mud, so that'll work out pretty good, but we can't leave them alone. What we're going to do is we're going to take the company logo and we're going to put this on a piece of acrylic and light it up, mold it into the back of the seat, and that'll look pretty cool. All right, we've got all my badges made. So the next thing I got to do is I got to take and attach them to the back of the seat. So I'm going to use some 1-inch PVC and attach it to the inside so that I can screw into that and not into the frame of the seat. I'll attach the badge to it, and these are just going to be some transfer marks. When the filler hits them, it'll pick up the marker, and then when I pull it off, that line will be in the bottom of my piece, so as I'm sanding, I know to come up to that line and stop, and that keeps everything straight. I worked at a trade school for probably almost 10 years, and one of the hardest things was teaching them to sand. Anytime they looked at sanding, one of the hardest things to do is just kind of get in your head and know that I gotta sand this. It's your space, spend your time, and just go to town. Now that we got all these logo badges roughed in and ready to go, next thing we're gonna do is put the party in them. We'll take them apart, get my elephant knife out, and get to carving on it until I can get these LED strips to fit. Once those are in, we'll get it wrapped, get it sealed up, and get them installed on the trailer. When Bill brought us this project, he told us one thing. This thing had to be the loudest thing in the park, the loudest thing at the show, the loudest anywhere it went. The name of the game here is just as many speakers as you can fit. Anywhere you can find a spot, you cram a speaker and make it loud. This thing's going to be so loud, it's going to have people thinking, what in the hell were they thinking when they did that? It's going to slap them right in the face.
You know, the bar top and seats, they're done. And we got the party trailer back from Powder Coat. We just got to hook everything up, and it's tailgate time.
Tom and I are doing the final install of the air tanks, bags, compressors.
Hooking up lights used to be difficult, but LEDs have made it easier by 100-fold. Small, waterproof, and durable enough to go anywhere. I'm adding about 170 feet of LED lights. And because you can never have too much sound, I'm putting in a soundelier. I hope the owner has some earplugs.
To say we worked a lot on this trailer is a total understatement. We put everything we can put in on this thing, and today we're going to give it back. What's happening, man?
What's up?
Man, appreciate y'all meeting me out here at 1886 Humboldt Backyard Bar. This place is all about having a good time, having a couple of drinks, and just kicking back. What a better place to bring you your trailer.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me out here. This place looks awesome.
Well, man, you said go crazy with it. We went insane with it. I can't wait for you to see this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
awesome.
Definitely over the top.
That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. This is going to be great.
You ready to check this thing out?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, my. Dude, are you kidding me? Look at that thing. Holy shit. Wow. I've never even seen speakers like that before. This is just crazy.
Well, you wanted something to draw some attention, right?
Oh, dude. That thing's insane. I love it.
What's up, guys?
You have something to do with this thing?
A little bit. You all right?
Great.
So
good now.
As you see here, we touched every part of this trailer, put air suspension on the back, so it's totally adjustable with a big, heavy 4-link on it, so it looks mean and nasty, too.
Yeah, I love the 4-link. I can't wait to really get under there and look at everything you did. I can't wait to get it off-road, drop it down, bring it up. This is going to be perfect.
You had cold smoker in the back and a grill up front that you found somewhere. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
My boy's pit maker got you hooked up with the smoker and grill, centralized in the rear spot so you can, keep all the cooking back to the back and just worry about the party in the front.
The old barbecue, it was trash. Total garbage. And this new stuff, it's insulated. It's got all these layers. These guys are going to set me up with everything I need. And it's just so much better than before.
When it first came in, we sat down, we had tacos on it. First thing we figured out that it wasn't very comfortable to sit down and eat on. So we had to get comfortable seats in it.
It's such a good idea to use boat seats because instead of the wood, now I don't have to worry about it. No matter what I throw at it, I'm good to go.
Bill gave us one other thing he told us. It's got to be loud. We need to power 6 or 7 cars, we put it all into one. 6x9s down the side, really just firing right into your gut. We got the 10s overhead. We got woofers down on the bottom. This thing is so loud, you'll be drawing people for at least a mile away.
It is loud.
That is
make it a little bit better. We put lights everywhere. We even lit up the countertop. Lights in the seats, lights around all the
exhaust, the speakers. Man, this thing parties all day long.
The way they put my logos on everything and they light up, I mean, the attention to detail is just unreal. It looks like everything in excess. Exactly what I wanted.
You definitely got that. How about we fire this thing up and really see what it's about?
Oh, yeah.
Man, 2-pound burgers or what?
Heck yeah, man. Texas-sized burgers for a Texas-sized party.
Wow. When Eric is checking this thing out, I can tell he's just amazed by what he's seeing right now. Check out the... I can't believe how much sound those put out. It's unbelievable.
Overall, I am just totally blown away. I mean, I asked him to go crazy with it, and it's just totally over the top. Built in. This is crazy. Thank you for everything. This thing's freaking awesome.
Got it, man.
I'm bringing it out to SEMA, Glamis. I'm going to put it out front of my shop up in New Hampshire. We're just going to have a party everywhere we go. Party on wheels. Thanks for everything.
Mm-hmm. The front suspension on the 2017 F350 is in way better shape than the rest of it. But we still have to clean up the shoddy metalwork before we even think about sending this out with our name on it.
All we're trying to do here is knock the high spots out of it. We're not trying to make it smooth and grind it to where it's going to be paintable. They're going to come back and put some body filler on it and be ready to paint.
Well, Tim did a great job grinding it off and cleaning it up for us. The next step that we will do, we'll come down with some Bondo. One nice trick that I've learned is for curves like these, you might just rub the Bondo on your finger like this, run it across, and you get a flatter surface that blends into the curve. And there comes the sanding next, which I'm finna start off with 36 grit, and then come back with 80 and finish it off. Now we're getting ready to prime it. The good thing about the primer is you'll be able to see some of the imperfections that are around here. Scratches from the 36, stuff like that will have to get addressed again. So there's no going back. Here it has to be done right, no matter what.
You guys did a great job on this. This thing's looking good. Ready to blow this thing apart and get it painted and coated, huh? Mm-hmm.
What the? What is it? A bolt weld on another bolt. Just when I think I've seen it all. This bolt's function was to hold this hanger to the frame, but I don't know what that bolt's function was. That's something new to me. That's custom. I guess we got a new berry for the tree.
Now we got everything stripped down. We're going to send it out to powder coat, send the rest of the body work. In a couple days, we put it back together.
So where are these going?
Gotta find a new branch. Years ago, there used to be a big tree in the back of the lot, and everything we've cut off just get thrown around this tree. Eventually, a big storm came, knocked that whole tree down. Was coming up, started welding up here, and that's how the tree of shame got started. All this is stuff that other shops have done that we felt was unsafe. So then over the years, as you added another piece, another piece, another piece, it's now growing like an oak tree. It's just growing up and up and up. True to form today, it just grows a little bit bigger, gets a couple more branches onto it.
I think that's it. Shoot, 20 more years, it'll be as tall as the other one?
Maybe taller.
5 years?
5 years.
All right, well, shoot. Let's get back to it.
Bring this in.
Got that, right? I know somebody got that.
You know, there's a lot of work had to be done in this big blue F350, but now's the time to give it back to CJ and his family.
Art Museum.
It's a cool spot, huh?
It is. I like the murals and everything, but you gave me a call and I don't think we're here to look at paintings.
Definitely not going to look at paintings today. Got something else for you to look at.
Yeah.
You ready to check this thing out?
I'm ready to check it out.
CJ has a whole 350 to join the team.
It's falling. Man, that's crazy. I love it. That looks good. Hell yeah, man. God.
I know it's been a while since you've seen that.
It has, man. That looks so good. That is a killer setup. Killer setup. That's going to look awesome at shows. Hey.
Hey.
My wife's here. Surprise. What a surprise. Awesome work. Looks good.
Thank you.
Look, Rudy.
Little one, what's up? Bill had the whole family here, the whole fleet, and it was just super cool.
CJ, when this thing came in, you couldn't even drive it, much less put this thing to work. Once we started getting into this thing, tearing it apart, it was just nightmare after nightmare.
Like opening a can of worms. It just never stopped. We went from front to back and got it rolling further now.
Safety wasn't a big concern with the last shop, I guess.
As you can see right now, problem solved. All in the car.
Yep.
You see on the front axle was just garbage.
Yeah, it was bad.
It just looked like it was going to fall apart in any second. We ground off all the old welds, re-welded everything, body worked and painted, made this thing look good. This thing's coming at you, you see it, so it's got to look good.
Yep.
And from that, you see the new 4-link bars going all the way back to the new bracketry on the axle. They had spliced together 4-link bars. Get that out of there.
Yeah.
That's all on our tree of shame.
Yeah. Looks good.
So we got it all bolted to the frame nice and strong, and we have tube work underneath there, connecting from side to side. Not just, strong to do its job. It's got some style to it.
Definitely. And now it looks amazing. The tubing, the support, it's just good that he went through every inch of this truck to make sure that it was perfect.
As far as the rear axle, we just started fresh, cut everything off, welded everything up, and just made you some cool bag mounts, 4-link mounts, and it's all artwork. It's a piece of art underneath there.
And now we get to haul with it.
That's it. Put it to work. Looking back on this project to see how bad it actually was to where it is now, having to rebuild all the underneath of this thing to make it safe for CJ and his family, it's just something we had to do. We had to make sure it's right.
Bill, man, you killed it. From the suspension, everything you touched, amazing work, amazing work. I get to haul, my family's safe in it. I couldn't be happier, man. To be able to use this truck and have my family with me on these trips is awesome. I feel safe, and I have a very reliable truck to get from my house to each show.
Most of the time when you're building a project, you start fresh. This project we get in A to C and ended up going all the way to Z. There's a bunch of hidden issues that we had to address. That's what we do. Make it safe, make it cool.
Well, Cummins. Not every day you put an engine in a truck that the engine weighs more than a truck.
We're going to have to make it a lot of room that isn't there. And then we got to make this extra strong to handle all that extra torque. I didn't know you even had a race truck.
Just another bad addiction. This ain't one of them $200,000 builds, We built that from the junkyard.
Might need to take that thing for a little ride.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. The custom truck scene is so big on the north side of Houston. No matter what I need, I need a drive shaft for one of my builds. So I'm going to go see my old friend David and his son Daniel. They run a little salvage yard amongst all their other little businesses.
Hey, Bill, what's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Same old thing, hot.
I know, that's right.
Yep.
I came over because I need some.
That's all right. What do you need?
That's what you always tell me, at least.
Yeah. What do you need?
Man, I need a 2-piece drive shaft. We always mock up with those things, so...
I have to get them out, but, yeah, we got them.
Whether it's their mud trucks or whatever they're interested in at the time, I always like seeing what they're up to. Sometimes I like taking them for a run.
Man, what you got going on here? Oh, that's a little race truck we've been working on.
What's up, Bill? What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Oh, another day.
So you got your little Colorado and just got after it, huh? Man, let me check this thing out.
All right, let's take it down.
The customization comes in all sort of shapes, sizes. This is just a prime example of that, of just taking an old truck, cramming a big engine in it, big turbo, and just seeing how fast it'd go.
What do you think of this, Bill?
A little LS, huh?
Uh-huh. Everybody got to have an LS nowadays.
Yup.
So, we're just trying to get in where we're fitted, man.
Yeah, you had to make a little room here for the turbo, I see.
Oh, yeah. Just a little. We still haven't put a hood on it.
You don't need all that. Man, I know y'all been building the big mud trucks, but I didn't know you even had a race truck.
Into the airbags, and I got us into the mudding, and now just another bad addiction.
Something to spend money on?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
How quick is this thing?
It does all right. We built this truck to roll. I mean, of course, it's got an 88mm turbo. Oh, yeah. 2-speed power glide.
Mm-hmm. Got them fresh Hoosiers on the back, too.
Fresh new tires. That has no choice but to go.
Hey, it rolls out good. That nitrous works, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thing's cool, man. So you get the cage in here, get the harness in here.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that. Trust me, you're going to want to use those.
Come over to get a drive shaft, stumble across the Colorado with the crazy LS in it, turbo. It's a good day.
All right, guys, we got to go out back and get that drive shaft built.
All right. Appreciate it.
Anytime, sir.
These guys are the ultimate backyard builders. They take whatever they got and turn it into something cool. Right now for them, it's all about speed, and the faster the better. I'm all about pushing the limits on my builds, so I can definitely understand putting a big engine in a small space. But it's the fun part of doing what we do. I had a customer, Monty, give me a call, said come check out a project that he had for me. And rolling up here today, man, his place is really impressive. Hey, Monty.
Bill, how you doing?
Hey, man, good.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, man, good to see you. Thanks for having me out.
Absolutely.
So you got a little project for me, huh?
Well, I do. I think it's something you really like.
Man, that's nice. I'm super impressed. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. He's got a couple of 1930 Chevys, a 63 AMC Rambler American, and this 1954 Henry J is one of only 325 ever built. You got a nice collection.
Thank you very much. I've got some stuff I've had in here for 30 years and stuff that I just acquired. So
nice.
A little mix of everything.
Yeah. Which one of these you got for me?
Well, it's this 37 International here. It needs some of your help.
Man, that's a good-looking truck. It's pretty rare to find a 1937 International D2 Harvester in this good a shape. 80 years ago, these were giving Ford and Chevy a run for their money. I just love these body styles on this. It was different. It's not, the Ford and the Chevy that everybody has.
Yeah, they're not that common. It's just amazing to find them in this kind of shape.
Yeah, it looks like it's in great shape.
Yeah.
So, Monty, what do you want to do with this thing?
I love the look. I want to drive it, but it's just not that much fun to drive.
What's under the hood of this?
Well, I think you're going to know what's in there.
Inline.
An old Chevy motor. Somebody put in probably 20 years ago when the old International engine quit.
Years ago, it was a little upgrade, but definitely not anymore. Man, I think, Monty, what this thing needs, International truck, put a Cummins diesel in it.
A diesel?
You can get plenty of no problem.
But it would have to make noise, though. When you start it up, I want to wake up the neighbors.
Oh, it's definitely going to make some noise.
Okay, good.
And with the diesel power plant, we need to stop this thing. And with stopping comes with new suspension. What's this got underneath here? Oh, straight axle on this?
Yeah, bounce,
yeah. We just need to modernize this, lower it down to the ground, modern brakes, new wheels and tires, really make this thing handle and ride like a modern car. Once we're done with the foundation of this old truck, this thing is going to ride and perform like it's supposed to. What about the interior in this thing?
That seat that's in there is about as comfortable as a buckboard wagon. You bounce around and you hang onto the steering wheel to keep from flying out of the door. I would leave it to you guys to figure out a way to make that comfortable.
Definitely. I think about this build, it's all about making a custom interior for this that doesn't detract away from the 37 styling. Make it comfortable for you and your wife and still have a nice feel to it.
That I like.
What are we doing back here?
Well, what I'd really like to do is customize this a little bit. My family had a grocery store and a gas station in Alliance, Nebraska, and they had old pickups like that, so I thought maybe I could put Cashner Grocery on here, and it's a little tribute to my dad.
Yeah, we can definitely come up with something with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I really like when I can tie something personal into a build, and this wood in the bed is a perfect opportunity. I'm ready to get going on this thing, man. It's going to be exciting. It'll be fun.
I think so. It'll be different.
We'll give you the full money.
Oh, I love it.
This truck is 80 plus years old. We got to get rid of everything and start over. It's a beautiful truck, but people don't come to us for restorations. I don't care who you are. Old trucks are cool. Anytime we get to work on a piece of history like this, it's something special. Monty wants something custom, but he wants something to still really look authentic. Something that still has the 30s feel, but he can get in, start it up, and drive it wherever he wants. Builds like this are super cool to me. You get to keep a truck like this on the road and still get to put my spin on it. You know, it doesn't get better than that.
What are you doing? Up? Remember in old times when you used to do that for a living at the service station?
Yeah. This is a customer of ours, but he wants to keep the 37 styling.
And it's actually pretty good shape for a 37.
Yeah, this thing's in real good shape. I'm thinking on this, let's pull out this old inline 6 and replace it with the inline 6. But not just an inline 6, 12-valve Cummins.
Oh, we're going to put a Cummins in here?
Yeah.
It's not going to fit real easy.
No, it isn't just a drop in, drop out. It's an inline 6 to inline 6, but he's a little bit involved with that, right? To make that other engine fit, we're going to have to cut the firewall all out and just make it a lot of room that isn't there. You know, Monty's a pretty tall guy, so we want to build the sheet metal around the engine as tight as we can, so it gives him a lot more foot room in it. And with that, we want some upgrades underneath the front end also. You know, has a straight axle underneath this thing. Doesn't stop, doesn't ride, doesn't drive
like a stagecoach with a straight axle under this thing.
Yeah. We're going to build independent front suspension for it with some nice disc brakes on it and a big 20-inch wheel with the same overall styling that's on there now.
That's going to look really nice. What are we going to do about the interior?
Check this thing out. As you can see, you know, no frills here, right?
Man, I've seen farm tractors with more options than this.
Right. We want a comfortable seat. Want to change out the column to put new glass in it too, because, you know, just full interior.
This is Bill's.
Just a
little bit. It's a 5-minute job.
Yeah, it's an hour-ish. As far as the back goes, check this out. You know, back here, of course, we're going to get it down with coilovers also. Put a Ford 9-inch in it, you know, fuel cell.
Yeah.
You know, on the bed of the truck, his family has had a grocery store throughout the years. So he wants to put, you know, a little plaque on the wood here to commemorate his family history and the store they've had.
So it makes it real personal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool idea, doing that.
Well, man, let's get this thing on the rack and let's figure out how we're going to get the engine out of this thing and put that other one in.
All right.
As good as this truck looks after 80 years, you just don't know what Tim and Jamie are going to find after tearing down.
Oh, man, what do you think? Old baling wire right here. Old coat hanger right here. Gas tank's had a couple issues in the past. You can see where they patched it a couple times. That's little crevices from the local hardware store. Check that out. Man, I know my grandfather do whatever it took to stay out in the field. He farmed that field from the time the sun came up to the sun went down. This looks like, well, enough look, man. Let's get it done. Man, look at this right here. That big old arch in it. Looks like they definitely might have jumped it once or twice. I mean, I'd have loved to have seen this thing going through the air. Imagine how it felt like that. I really like working on trucks like this because you get to see how they did it back in the day. These were made by hand, you know, an assembly line instead of now like the cars made by robots and machinery. It's a different kind of feel when you're working on a vehicle like this. It's a piece of history. Very good. Can you lift up? Can you pry right there with the pry bar? Yeah. I'm going to pry it out and it's going to flip up. Okay, back up just a little bit. Okay, up. Up, 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 up. All right.
I want to go with the Cummins
12 valve in the International. I like the contrast of putting one of the toughest. They stopped making the 12 valve back in 1998. So I had to have the Wells family find one. What's up, fellas?
What's up? We got your diesel.
There it is.
This it, huh?
Yes, sir.
12 valve. Where'd you get this thing at?
Out of 97 Dodge, ready to go, bro. We got the same engine in our drag truck.
This 1,100 pound, 5.9 liter engine has over 400 foot-pounds of torque. But what makes this stand out is its durability. Man, this thing looks like hell, but it runs good, right? It's gonna run good.
She's solid, bro.
It has a fully mechanical fuel injection system, so it basically self-lubricates. This thing will pretty much outlive us all. This is exactly what we needed.
Glad we could help. The 12 valve Cummins, the best diesel engine ever made. So you can't beat these things. Once this thing's all done, we'll have awesome fuel mileage and this much power in that little over truck.
It's gonna get it, that's for sure.
It's huge, man. Watch out, Tim. Not every day you put an engine in a truck that the engine weighs more than a truck. It's pretty unique.
This is gonna be fun.
We got a ton of support underneath here. We're going to start by leveling the body and frame all back up. We don't want to go in and just cut the whole firewall out. We're just getting it in, seeing what the next cuts need to be. Kind of put it half-ass center, Jamie?
That's pretty close right there, Bill.
So it's just a little at a time. Cut a little bit, inching in a little bit. See what else you have to cut. Cut a little more, inch it in. Get a little at a time, so you don't have this huge opening in the firewall to have to recreate later.
You know, getting this heavy engine in this truck is a challenge. But not only getting it in, you got to get it mounted properly. Now we made tabs off the frame back here. There's the tubing coming down, going over a center mount. It'll all be rubber mounted. The motor be mounted on rubber. Transmission mounts be mounted on rubber. We just totally reinforced everything 100%. It's beefier, it's heavier. It's not going nowhere. Ready? Pretty much anytime you go with a bigger engine, it's going to come with a bigger transmission. So I'm making a bigger trans tunnel and a new subfloor. So we came in with some 3/4 inch square tubing, built a new structure. That's going to be the skeleton that holds the new floor. So we'll cut some sheet metal. Sheet metal will connect the firewall, and we'll be done with the floor. There's several ways to do this, but me personally, I like to bend as many bends as I can. It's less places you have to weld to do, and less heat on the panel. I'm going to drill some holes, so when I push it down from the top, I can weld it from the top. And you look up from the bottom, you don't see any welds, you don't see anything, it's all slicked out and looks good.
Back when this International rolled off the factory, it would have been hard to imagine the torque we're putting into it. So we got to build a whole new super heavy-duty suspension, starting with these control arms.
From the center of the bolt hole to the center of the ball joint cup, we've laid out for exactly 10 inches. So now what we're going to do, we're going to build some pipe to come over to connect the ball joint to the bushing. That's going to be the structure of our control arm. Now we have the skeleton all done up. Jamie's making a plate that's going to go in here. All this will be welded together, and the plate will be welded on this to make everything extra strong. We need the transmission jack over here. Go up a little bit. So once we got the bottom control arm on, we'll put the spindle on, the rotor on, make sure everything functions, everything's good. Then we'll make the coilover mounts. These two tabs right here are going to weld to the plate. Watch your finger. The plate is going to hold the arm. That's what's going to hold the truck up in the air and give it adjustment. Cycle it up and down, see how good it stays up and down, and we'll go from there.
Front suspension's all mocked up, so Tim and Jamie are moving to the rear and start notching the frame.
The stock frame rails have a natural curve over the rear axle, so we're just going to open up the notch a few inches. It'll maintain the structural integrity while overall changing the stance and look of the truck.
What I need to do now is contour this flat bar to the shape of this radius right here. So sometimes it's about just getting your piece pretty close and then just forming it in as you go. So I'll start cranking it with this C-clamp, just getting it in the shape. keep your tack and weld in until it's perfect. So you can see the inside now, it's capped. It's got a nice shape to it. It's contoured to the template. I need to go ahead and weld that in, grind it down, and be good to go. I actually like the way this looks. It looks better than the original. It's got a little bit of style to it, nice shape. It's gonna look good on the frame.
Dave and Daniel's truck looked good in the garage, so they invited me out to Houston Motorsports Park to see Daniel take some runs. Man, that thing looks mean with that big old turbo thing in the grill. It looks like fun for sure.
This ain't one of them $200,000 builds, you know. We built that from the junkyard.
Just what you had, just make it work.
So far, it's been doing good.
Man, Dave, that old truck's running good. Looks like it's hooking up good and going straight. It's making a little power, too.
Hey, it ain't bad for a backyard build. I think it goes.
You know, for Daniel and Dave to put this truck together with just parts they have laying around and make it run as good as it does, you know, they did a real good job. Oh, Daniel can drive pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah. I showed him how to do that. He's got it.
Me and Dave go way back. He came over and watched me ride my bike around the neighborhood, this thing. You know, Northside, we're all a big family. We all know each other. We all look out for each other, especially if you got something cool going on. We may not come from the nicest part of town, but we do know how to make do from what we have times 100. It's just really cool to see. You know, I try to keep that mentality in everything we do. Always pushing ourselves to go from here to here.
One more little nudge. There we go. That's it on the money.
We got an extra large diesel for this 37 International. So we got to build an extra strong custom 4-link for the suspension.
The crossmember here is pretty much the most important part of the rear suspension. Everything trails off of this. So all of our suspension 4-link components mount to the crossmember. The diesel engine that we're putting in here, it's got a lot of torque. So this is super important for it to be strong, square, and level. We'll go ahead and put the heims in between it and bolt it, snug them. You know, in this particular application, the parallel 4-link is the way to go because it has 4 points of contact linking the axle to the crossmember. The more points of contact you have, distributes that torque all around. So it's good right there.
Now the next step is our diagonal link. That's the final link of the whole link system. With the diagonal link from a fixed point to the point on the rear end at an angle, it keeps the rear end from moving side to side. Very key part of the suspension. Watch your face, Jim.
Now we have all this set up. We're going to run 2 tabs off here, 2 tabs off here. That's what's going to hang the coilover.
We're going with coilovers instead of airbags on this because he wants a static drop with great performance.
It's a coilover, a shock. The suspension's going to ride on the coil spring of this. It's going to travel up and down with the coilover. And the internal of it acts as a shock. These are our mock-up coilovers we use for everything. When it gets back from powder coat, we'll put the other coilovers on with the new springs, and you'll see the final setup.
Now that we button up the suspension on the 37 International, Tim and Jamie are going to reshape these fenders so we can get that big old wheel in the back. And it'll make it meaner and look a little more modern.
The way this fender is shaped, it rolls this wide. So we need to extend the top of this fender over to the bedside so we'll be able to fit a wide wheel in it. So we marked a bunch of high spots on it. So you cut along that high spot. So when you continue over, it doesn't look like it goes up, comes down, and then continues over. So this is the half of the fender we're going to keep. The other half of the fender we left bolted to the bed. So we knew exactly where to line this back up. A little trick I've learned in the past. Give it a little strip like this. Cut the first piece, the outer side, the most important side. Leave it attached to the metal. Do all your final grinding before you cut the second one. This makes it a lot easier to work with. Basically what we're doing is making this flange to hold it to the bedside. This is going to bolt to the bedside. The fender will weld to this. We're going to tack this back onto this fender. Now the template in the back is the same as this radius on the outside. We'll come in here, we'll cut a section out of the back. Then we'll sheet metal from here to the template, tack it, get that one good, and we'll work our way to the front and do the front piece. The flange that we built is what's going to hold it to the bedside. We can unbolt that, the whole fender comes with big fat tires. It's what the truck needed in the back instead of that little...
Definitely.
It looked like a motorcycle fender in the back, where now it looks like a fender.
You had to throw something in there about a motorcycle. Yeah. I don't think so. We're putting a lot of custom upgrades into the International. But when it comes to the interior, we're going to refurbish the seats to still keep some of that 1930s look. The hard part about using the old seats, sometimes the springs just twist and break. There's not a lot of guys that's still around that can fix these, but Joe's been doing this longer than I've been around. Man, I got a 37 International. It's still, you know, a vintage looking truck, and I want to keep that vintage feel with a little more modern touch.
Yeah, we'll get rid of all this horsehair, and I'll put some nice comfort foam on there, tie the springs up, fix the framework.
Man, you know what I need.
Nothing to it, buddy. I've been helping you for years. You think I'm going to stop now?
Better not.
No problem, buddy.
Let's get it loaded up.
All right. Bill's been my friend since he was a boy. When I first built this first building, he said, "Oh, I can do that." And I said, "Yeah, no problem." But he never stopped. He just kept going, building more and more and more. Oh, wow. This broke right there. That used to go there, and this used to go to here. So we're going to have to bend a new edge wire and put it in here to attach these springs back together, make it a permanent part of the seat. Where's Bill at when you need him? I need a welder, man. But I've done this ever since I was a kid. They used to make them a lot better than they do now. Now, they don't have springs in the seats no more. They just got foam on them, so they're not as comfortable. I think we need to get this right here. These young guys now, all they do is fix foam. So if you need your springs fixed, you gotta come to an old guy like me. We're starting to get a shape to the seat. We're going to put a piece of carpet on here to keep the springs from cutting up through the foam. You wrap these edges. We're fixing to make our patterns. We're going to make it out of another material that's not our leathers. Watch your fingers. That way we don't make no mistakes with the expensive material. This is our black leather we're going to make our seats out of. It's nice, pliable, soft. The cut. Let's see how it looks. Now all we got to do is staple this down, and we're going to have a good looking leather seat. We got one seat down, one more to go, and we'll get this back to Bill.
Monty loves the vintage feel of this truck, but he wants modern touches on it. So I called my boy Lewis in. He's going to build some wood panels for the side of this bed. Still give it that vintage feel, but with custom touch. What's up, man? Man, need your help again.
All right. What do we got?
Monty would like to pay a little homage to his family's history. His dad has had, grocery stores in the past. I need a wood panel for each side of the bed and put their name in the bedside here somewhere.
Yeah, that'll look good.
The wheels are going to be a charcoal. The inside's all dark, so I'd like, a dark stain on this thing too, so it ties everything together.
Okay. Well, if you're going charcoal on the wheels, we could do something really cool and go with a Shosugiban finish.
What?
A Shosugiban finish. It's a traditional Japanese finish used to preserve wood, and what we'll actually do is char the wood to give it that charcoal appearance. Nobody else would have it, that's for sure.
And that sounds cool, man. Let's do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Ready to get it?
take this over here and get started.
We're going to take this piece, take our router, and route it to the exact shape and give it a little profile on the edge. We're going to put some nice styling on the sides of it so it's not square, and it gives it a really nice detailed edge. All we have to do now is put the Shosugiban finish on it. So we're gonna fire up the torch and get started. So it's really important whenever you're doing a Shosugiban finish that you keep the flame moving. We don't want to keep it concentrated in one spot too long because it could potentially catch on fire, and we definitely don't want that. So as you can see, as we're doing this, it starts to really highlight the grain of the wood. And what that's doing is it's burning out the soft wood of the oak and just exposing that hardwood, starting to look really, really nice. Get that look that Bill was going for when he said he wanted the charcoal gray. You know, what better look to give them than an actual piece of burnt wood. Now I'm gonna wet it down just so it doesn't get too hot. Now you can see how all that water is being, we're looking for not just the look, but this bed will be protected for many years to come. Okay, so now that we've got the Shosugiban finish done, we're going to get the letters engraved onto this, and then it'll be ready to put on the truck.
You know, for me, one of the best parts of building custom builds is that it's art. But this ain't no sculpture, we get to drive them. And the more I think about David and Daniel's drag truck, the more I want to give it a run. You know, I at least gotta ask. Look like they're around here, so they're probably out back messing around. What all my Oh, man. Come get us. Man, here we are. Little shortcut turned into getting stuck. And that's one thing I hate, being stuck in the mud.
And once again, we gotta come and save Bill's ass. Once again. You know, when I come back there seeing Bill stuck in that mud and he had on them pretty white shoes, I just could not believe it. I think we're getting some boots for Christmas. Yeah. I know much, man. Need a little help here?
Man, please, dude.
We take care of you. You already know that. Don't get it all muddy, Bill.
You didn't bring me a blanket to lay on?
Sure. Hey, hold on. I'll be right back with that. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to talk to you about that race truck.
Do I need to go get it to pull you out? Nah, I don't recommend that.
Man, I might need to take that thing for a little ride.
I don't know. Look what you're doing back here.
Have you never been stuck before, huh?
No. You know, we're going to take it out next weekend, man, but I think we got other problems now. How about next weekend?
You won't let me drive?
She's ready. Anytime, man.
All right, cool, man.
Let's get you out of this right now, Bill. Hey, he ain't moving. He's not centered. Had to go backwards. Man. You know, sometimes getting people out of the mud, it's easy, but other days it's a lot of work. You know, I enjoy that part of off-roading. You're going to get stuck, you know. All right. These things happen.
This bumper's for looks, so.
It's going to look good behind this Jeep.
Let's do it.
Come on, you got it. Straighten up, Bill. Straighten up.
Man, thanks.
Anytime, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The truck's ready.
Man, appreciate it. I'll see you
then. We got you.
Appreciate David and Daniel inviting me out today. I can't wait to get in that driver's seat, see what this thing can do.
Back. Yeah, there you go.
So Daniel, tell me about it real quick, man. Give me a little tutorial.
All right. Make sure your steering wheel's latched on. Got your water pump here. You're going to go all the way back to first gear. Bam. First. Yes, sir. Second.
That's it.
When you let go of that button, you're going for a ride. You're leaving.
Cool, man. I got this. Let me suit up and let's see what this thing will really do.
Yeah. You got to have this on? Chase catch on fire. I know you like to go in circles, but we'll see how your driving skills are straight.
Keep it straight.
Hey, you got this, brother. You got it. You got it. Handle it.
I'm doing a burnout. I can feel, this thing's got a little power.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And not bad for first pass.
Yep.
Man, releasing that button, feeling just the torque of this engine, the power pulling you back in the seat and just holding this thing straight the whole time. Man, it's just exhilarating.
Well, what do you think, man? What do you think? What up? What do you think?
Oh, truck runs good, boy.
And the 6 is on the first pass? That's rolling.
It's a great way to start off your day. You don't need coffee or energy drink. Adrenaline rush is the best way to get it going. Man, that was fun, man. I tell you what, I've been needing that. Working so hard at the shop, man, you just get in the grind and get to come out here on a day like this and really release some frustrations, man. It just clears your mind, and I needed it, man. I really appreciate that.
Does that baby roll or what?
It does, man. It runs really good.
When you gonna build one? You better watch it. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
To fit the 12-valve diesel and the 37 International, we had to pull off the turbo, amongst other things. Once this thing is running, the Wells family is going to have to figure out how to put all that stuff back on there and make the hood close. That 12-valve, it's in here.
I see that.
Yeah. But there's not a lot of room under the hood of this thing.
Yeah, Bill, for sure, I can tell we're going to have to move this charger, run a new custom intake to the compressor on the charger, return line, oil lines, fuel lines. This thing will fire up today, no problem.
Cool. Let me
make it happen,
man.
Thank you, bro. So we got a big engine, very little space. So first things first, we got to figure out what we're going to do with this turbo. We're going to have to move this manifold, pull it in more, so you can run any exhaust or piping in here that we need to do. That's going to be tight, especially here.
We're going to have to lower it.
Yeah, if we can cut this off and weld that flat and drop it down, then I can put a 90 there.
We're going to have to modify the exhaust manifold and move the turbo up and forward so we'll have room for the valve pipe. Because this turbo weighs so much, we want to keep as much metal on this manifold as we can, give us more welding surface, and keep this area strong. All right, that looks good. Let's pack it up.
All right, then we're ready to go, guys. All right, Clay, work the starter. TJ, when you start getting fuel up there, Dad, just stand there, look pretty.
What we like about these 12 valves of 5.9 is that they're very, very tough and rugged. They're simple to work on, and they make some of the greatest noises on the planet.
All right, ready?
We gotta run a 12 valve, boys. Turbo's finished, fuel lines are ran. All that's left now is just to make it look pretty.
Well, it all started with this one right here.
The first truck I ever got was a 2001 Dodge. My mom drove it forever pulling her horses, and it quit running one day. He said, look, for your first truck, you fix it, it's yours. And I researched it, fixed it, it's went from there.
He started fixing his truck up and racing everyone around town. And before we knew it, everyone was calling him and dropping their trucks full of trucks. And we were like, well, I guess we better start a shop.
And even poor Clay got suckered into all this.
I was the dedicated flashlight holder for a long time. It was pretty great. I slowly graduated into more the technical side of it.
Between the three of us, I mean, we can do anything.
You know, as a dad, I'm living the dream to be able to work with my sons every day. It's awesome. These two guys have taken this way further than I ever dreamed. I'm proud of them. I'm blessed, and I'm glad that we all get to do this together.
chassis back from powder coat on the 1937 International Harvester. And it's all hands on deck putting together the rolling chassis with custom 20-inch wheels and tires.
Bring it down just a little bit, Tom. Stop.
Looks at home right there, right?
Looks nice. Looks good.
You know, if you look from the outside, all the changes are pretty subtle. But this thing is completely transformed. You know, Monty had a talk with something really cool and custom. Well, there's next to nothing 30s underneath this truck anymore. You know, I hope he likes it, because I know I do. I gotta say, this is one of my favorites. I'm gonna give it back to Monty today, reluctantly. Hey, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm excited. I gotta tell you,
I'm excited for you, too. When I came to your house a while back, you wanted the farm truck vintage feel, but something you could just get in and drive and terrorize the neighborhood.
Maybe irritate the neighbors a little.
We definitely got you hooked up with that for sure.
The anticipation's about to get the best of me.
Let's check it out.
Okay, cool. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, man. Gee, Merry Christmas. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. Oh, the smell, the noise, the stance. It's perfect.
Like it?
Crazy. Hey, man, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I can't wait to see the nuts and bolts on this thing. This is crazy.
Once we got going on this thing, we've just gutted everything. At one point, it was just a cab.
Just a cab and frame.
We started building from there. When you came in, this thing was pretty much 100% original. That's cool for the vintage look. As far as drivability on this thing, one of the main things I know you wanted was that diesel engine. So we got a Cummins 12 valve in this thing.
Put a 12 valve Cummins in this thing?
Wasn't an easy fit in this truck.
Oh my God. Look at that. How in the world did you stuff that big motor in that little truck?
Pretty much only see the front 4 cylinders, right?
Yeah, that's it.
The other 2 are inside the cab.
Okay, good.
You know, that isn't an easy trick there. We cut out the old firewall, got it in place, and just pretty much built a new firewall, new transmission tunnel around the engine.
That's amazing. Amazing. When I fire this up, I think all the neighbors around me are going to know that the old International's running. This all fits in there, the hood closes and doesn't stick out. That is just off the scale cool.
We took out the old straight axle, the over end, and we just scrapped all that.
Yeah.
Built an independent front suspension, 4-link, a new 9-inch in the back with all coilovers all the way around. This thing can handle any torque this engine puts out. The attitude's right now. You see how this thing sits on the coilovers?
That's a perfect stance I wanted. Tire width. They're kind of like the old wheels that came off of it.
Right.
Exactly what I was looking for. It's amazing.
And to get it down that low, we had to...
You nailed it. They're not out of proportion. They match the front. It's perfect. Most people will never notice it. I had to look at it a couple times to see what had happened. All the subtle custom features that are really off the scale, you can't see them. They're so subtle, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Oh, man. Look at that. This truck had never had it so good, right? You know? I mean, there's just bare metal here. That's awesome.
Still, you know, the original seat, but just, you know, totally redone. Still has that, you know, the vintage look, but still has that custom feel also.
I'd say you nailed it because it just was all brand new.
I think you're going to be just very comfortable inside there when you're passing everybody up.
Yeah, I like that part, the passing part.
You know, Monty, you had those steak pockets on the back.
Yeah.
Steak belongs on your plate, not on the bed. So we filled in all the holes where the steak pockets were. We moved the wood down on the bed sides, and it has a spot for your family son.
I like that a lot. Subtle, but it's important to me that it's on there.
Man, it was really nice to be able to work on something old like this, you know, from seeing like a Nebraska truck, then taking it to where we brought it today. It's nice to see a finished product and a happy customer like yourself.
Yeah, man, you nailed it. Thank you guys very much. That is awesome. It's crazy good. I can't wait to get out. And,
you know, once again, my guys killed it on this. Hey, Monty, enjoy this truck. You're going to have a lot of fun, you know, driving, cruising, and terrorizing the neighborhood.